What's up, guys? We are live on another Tuesday night trash talk with my buddy Pistol Packing Pilot. What's up, Triple P?
Hey, how you doing, Patrioticstacker? Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a kick-ass weekend.
Absolutely. So far, I just want to give you guys a fair warning. The Wi-Fi today is a little touchy. It's really windy up by me, so I don't know if that has something to do with it or not, but bear with us if we cut out a few times. But anyways, how you doing?
Doing good. Just been, you know how it is, working my ass off. You already know I'm kind of excited. I got a nice big fat paycheck coming next week, so I'll be making probably a moderately large metals purchase. Haven't decided what or how much yet, but we're obviously on a decent dip right now, especially if you're talking about ASEs. They've never been cheaper.
Oh, yeah, man. That's why I've been backing up the truck on these. You know, it's been a long, almost 2 years. November 2021 is when I stopped stacking Eagles and switched to the Maples full time. And
No,
I think when I stopped
you're not backing up the truck. You're backing up a fucking barge, a huge fucking barge. It's not a truck.
Yeah, cargo ship.
Yeah, exactly. The kind that goes fucking all over the world. It comes here from fucking China and shit.
Listen, it's when I told you that American Silver Eagles were my favorite silver coin, I wasn't lying. I literally stopped just because of the premiums, like many others in the community. But the minute I seen these drop below 6, I was all over.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. I mean, it's a good deal. I mean, I suspect I'll probably be adding to my Silver Eagle stack next week as well, provided the prices stay fairly similar to where they're at right now, or hopefully even a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely. Like today, I picked up 2 more tubes at $5.62 or $5.63 per tube, and just a few days earlier, I picked up 2 tubes at $5.68, I think $5.70, and I seen this today. And I was like, oh man, you know, it's $10 cheaper than the last purchase per tube, so I'm saving $20 this next purchase. So I was like, all right, I gotta buy some more. So I did. But I think I should just buy a fucking monster box at this rate, because I'm just, you know, spending. But at the same time, I'm dollar cost averaging, because if I bought a monster box, say 2 weeks ago, and bought it now, I'd be saving a lot more money now.
Well, I mean, you're playing it right. That's what you do. You buy on the way down, right? So, I mean, it's
exactly.
If you buy a monster box right now, you're talking about what, just a hair over $14,000.
Oh, I think even less now.
Is it less than that now? All right. So,
well,
I mean,
let's do the math.
That's a good.
So I paid $5.62. Say $5.63 for a tube today. 2 tubes today each.
25 tubes.
So if you with 25 tubes, it's going to be a lot less than that. So you're probably going to be paying $5.50. So $5.50 times 25, what's that? You got a calculator on hand? Did I lose you? Fucking Wi-Fi, man.
Did you hear me? You there?
What happened?
I said, if you go over to Monument Metals website, a monster box on Monument Metals right now is $13,850.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
It is. And I did some research today, because obviously everybody knows Monument Metals has been having some great sales on Eagles. A lot of people were buying from Monument. But so a lot of bullion dealers, they trick you. So like the first price you see when you click on something, it says 27 and change for American Silver Eagle. Well, you click on it, you read into it, and you're only getting it for that 27 if you buy 500, so a monster box, and you use a wire check. So the regular price for a tube today off of Monument Metals wire check, the cheapest form of payment, was like $566, $568.
Right.
Well, Bullion Exchange eBay store was cheaper by like $3 or $4 per tube, and you can use credit card on eBay. Obviously, you're only using a card on eBay, so it was actually cheaper using a credit card on eBay than it was using wire check on Monument Metal. So I've been buying all my Eagles lately from Bullion Exchanges.
Yeah, I mean it's a few dollars cheaper. It's a good deal. Like I said, next week I'll be making. You know what I just bought? Patriotic. I just bought an empty tube. You know the tubes that you can put in 20 coins in an airtight. I just bought the empty tube for my Buffalo tubes. For my gold buffaloes. So I got an empty tube. I've got 12 gold buffaloes. It came with the capsules. I couldn't buy it without the capsules.
Well, you can on Fire Guy, you can buy them without and buy them with. It's good that you spent the extra money to get them with the capsules because you'll always end up using them.
Yeah, I mean, I paid $21 for 20 capsules and for the tube.
Yeah, no, they're expensive, but it's worth it.
So that right there is my motivation to fill that motherfucker up.
There you go.
And there will be gold next week, and there will be silver eagles next week, more than likely, provided we're looking at a similar picture next week as to what we're looking at this week, which I think we will be, because I think, and you guys in the chat, please chime in and tell me what you think. I think this dip right now is being driven by the things that the Fed has said recently. They said that they're going to continue to raise interest rates. So you would think that would make metals more valuable, but actually that causes the metal prices to dip, and it actually strengthens the DXY. And we know metals usually move inversely of the US dollar. So I think that personally is what's driving the dip. And I think we're going to see, I think that's what's happening right now, is I think the next interest rate hike is being baked into the metal prices right now.
I agree. We're gonna see this isn't the end of this dip. We're gonna see it go further. It's gonna go, I think we might see below $20 at some point this year.
Uncle Sal just made a video the other day about the path to sub $20 silver, and he makes some really good points. And it could happen. I think that until we see a major demand for silver through either more solar panels or more electric vehicles, or a combination of both, because we know silver is it's a monetary metal, but it's also an industrial metal. Until we see a larger demand and maybe a shrinking supply, they're just going to continue to keep manipulating it.
Yeah. So going back to your purchase, your big purchase that you're going to do next week, I think I know what you decided with. I think I know what coins you decided with. Now I'm going to say a guess. I'm going to say a guess, and let's see if I'm correct. You're going to get buffaloes and eagles. You're going to work on those two.
Those are the two goals I'm focusing on right now. One silver goal and one gold goal. That's correct.
Okay. And what's your time frame on that? When do you want to finish that goal by? If prices stay the way they are, or even drop, and along with the premiums, when do you want to finish your buffalo and eagle goal by?
Well, if the prices of eagles stay where they're at and the premiums stay where they're at, I think I could theoretically have both of those goals finished by the end of the year.
End of the year.
Both of them.
And is that your plan?
That's what I think depending on my work schedule, yes, I think I should be able to pull that off.
So
with
you're
all
official.
things
You're gonna zero in on these two.
Well, so here's the thing. My conundrum with my seated liberties on those slabs, right?
That 20 cent. I know you want to get that 20-cent piece.
But here's the thing, Patriotic. I've been shopping on eBay, and
Can't find it.
everybody is charging a 100% premium over what the slab is even listing for on PCGS. So if PCGS is valuing the slab at, say, $1,800, they're going for like $3,800 or $4,000 on eBay.
Yeah, that's weird. Usually PCGS is usually higher.
Patriotic, the seated liberties are shooting up in value. And a lot of these guys are like big dealers because they have like 99.9% positive feedback with a feedback rating in the hundreds of thousands. So these guys are pushing a lot of metal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are the ones who are charging that kind of money. So I'm almost wondering if they're suspecting a significant rise in a lot of these seated liberties that just hasn't popped yet, and they don't want to let it go, and they're willing to wait for their price that they know is coming probably shortly. Because I can't possibly think of any other reason why they're not willing to negotiate. Lots of times I'll go to eBay and I'll click on buy it now, and then I filter into the people that are accepting offers. And a lot of these guys are not even accepting offers. It's like buy it now for $4,000 and the slab's worth $1,800 fucking dollars, and they won't take an offer on it. And it just blows my mind because it's like, are you waiting for a sucker? Which is highly possible. They could be waiting for a sucker. I mean, there's a sucker born every minute, but
exactly.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. The one that I'm looking for is a PCGS Mint State 20-cent seated liberty. And I'm holding on to my 20-cent in an AU 58 until I can replace it. Once I can replace it with a PCGS Mint State, I'll liquidate mine and put it towards other metals or something. But yeah. I just can't bring myself to paying that much over what a slab is worth. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it to me. It's not a wise purchase. So for right now, I'm focusing on gold buffaloes and eagles.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's your best bet. I mean, if one comes up at a doable price, then I'd say, all right, yeah, I got to get it now, or I'm not going to get it at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, I got you lucky that one time at that coin shop in Virginia. Well, I'm going down there in 2 weeks if I see one. To your standards at that price range, maybe you can work out a deal.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm looking for though is pretty rare because it has to be that 20-cent piece. It has to be a PCGS slab, and it has to be Mint State, and it has to be a straight grade. I don't want no details.
Oh, I know. I don't blame you. It wouldn't be Mint State with details. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, because it would be uncirculated details. I don't want that. I want MS 60 or higher.
Yep. Well, you're definitely looking for a needle in a haystack, but it's possible.
It's the only thing I need to complete that entire series. Every single one of them patriotic, up to and including the seated dollar and the trade dollar, are PCGS straight graded Mint State.
Yeah. You'll find it.
So I'm not gonna drive myself crazy to the point where I'm paying a lot more than I should for something. So right now, I think the wiser purchase with what metal prices are doing is to stack. I think when spot price of silver and gold drives up, that's when you focus on collectibles.
I agree with you. You know, when premiums are through the roof and spot price is high, that's when you should change up your strategy and go more towards like collecting, vintage, you know what I mean? Work on your books, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But when you're getting a situation like now where not only spot price is dropping, you got the premiums that are dropping. And I don't know if you guys remember last year. I mean, it's hard to forget that we had a year-long dip. It was 8 months of a beautiful dip. But we've seen silver go down to almost hit $16 an ounce, and gold go as low as almost 1,500, 16 and change, I think it stopped at. But if you remember, the premiums weren't dropping as much. The premiums are still up there. But this year, you know, we're getting a little dip, but the premiums are following with it. So, you know, it's a really good time to stack right now, in my opinion. I think there's some great deals out there, especially on premium items that people weren't able to stack or didn't want to stack because of the crazy, you know, premium markup, especially on like bars like the RCM bars, Britannia bars, Eagles. I mean, for example, the Britannia and RCM bars, I never stacked those in my 10 years of stacking. And the reason is because they were $30 or $30 to $40 more than your regular 10-ounce bar. So it didn't make sense for me to stack those, just like the last 2 years with Eagles. But now, with the premiums dropping, spot dropping, I've been backing up the truck with those 2 bars and and the Eagles.
And you know what, Patriotic? That was a mistake that I made in my stacking and collecting strategy. Is when we had that 8-month, $18 silver run.
You were
When we
buying
had
more numismatic.
That was a gift from God. That was literally pennies from heaven. And I got myself sidetracked with collectibles and high premium slabs. And
I remember very well.
I don't want to say I regret buying what I bought, because I don't. I love my slabs. I love them to death.
You regret buying it at that time.
But I regret my choices and timing. And for those of you in the chat, take a lesson from me, because that was a mistake that I made. I should have not taken that dip for granted, and I should have focused more on stacking until spot prices and premiums came back up, and then switched back over to the higher premium stuff, because spot price and premium is high already anyway, so why the hell not? But that, I looked at my stack and I'm like, I've got over 1,000 ounces of silver. I've got 30 ounces of gold. I want to branch out into some different stuff. And, you know, like I said, I don't regret it. I just regret the timing of it.
Exactly. Well, now is your time to make up. I mean, even when we had that dip, Eagles weren't moving. Eagles were $40 an ounce, right? Well, now, I mean, when's the last time we could say we bought a tube of Eagles for under $600? I mean, it's closer to the $500 mark than it is $600 right now. It's, you know, it's almost, all right, so figure $560, so almost to 400. You know, almost to almost to 500, and even 500. You know, will it hit that? I don't know, but still, I mean, not too long ago there were tubes $900, $800, $750. It was ridiculous.
And don't take Constitutional for granted either. Monument Metals has a great deal right now on a $100 face value bag of Constitutional. They're running it for like $1,890. So we're talking like 18.9 times face.
Yeah, I just bought 5 tubes of Washington quarters today. Also.
Yeah, I mean, it's
before the stream.
I mean, it's usually not likely to find good Constitutional deals on Bullion websites.
I'm going to go to the flea market.
Like, so we have a flea market that we go to, and I have a coin guy that I see at the flea market here in Florida, and he hooks me up with Walking Liberty $50. And the cheapest I've ever bought Walking Liberties from him has been 16 times face. And I think we're getting back to the point where I could probably go back and see him and probably get him for about 16 times face again. Because I can tell him, look, I can buy it at Monument online for 18 times face. You got to cut me a better deal than that. And and I know him well enough to know that he'll work with me. I don't know if I'll get 16. I might get 17 times face. But yeah, I might make a trip to see him in the very, very near future.
Absolutely. I mean, the good thing about 90% is that, they don't make it anymore. So
No.
they're just going to, so right now, even though it's still, to some people, it's still kind of high. I mean, it is. But again, 18x, that's an outstanding price. I mean, if you can get 90%.
The beautiful thing about 90%. Go ahead.
No, what were you saying?
Here's the beautiful thing about 90%. It's both collecting and stacking. It's one of the only things that you can purchase that falls into both categories.
Absolutely. You're getting numismatic and you're getting that weight.
And if you can do it at 18 times face, you're getting a deal.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that's the coin they've melted tons of in the 1980s. Hearing the stories from local coin shops that have been around, for years, and hearing the amounts of coins they've melted. And I mean, if you look at the Red Book, it'll tell you, 1964 Kennedy, there was this many made. Well, they're going by from the original mint numbers, right? I guarantee there's maybe half of those, if that.
Oh, it's less. It's less than that. It's less than that.
Exactly. And then when it's all gone, people are going to have it in their stacks and they're not going to let go of it. It's something that if you don't got it now, you maybe want to start getting it while it lasts.
Well, here's the perfect example, Patriotic. When I start stacking, and you've been stacking much longer than me, even though you're much younger than me. I started stacking 3 years ago, and I remember when I started buying constitutional, barbers were affordable.
Yeah.
And that was only 3 years ago. And now barbers are going for what? 30 times face?
Oh yeah, barbers are expensive.
So the seated liberties are no longer even there's very few of them left, right? And the ones that are left, a lot of them are slabbed because they're just so scarce.
Down to nothing.
Right, exactly. And then you go to your barbers, and the barbers are almost starting to slowly become your next seated liberties.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have bought more barbers 3 years ago because I could have gotten them cheap.
Oh yeah, and barbers are one of those coins that had one of the shortest lifespans, and they got rid of them. I think they were in circulation from 1892 until 1916, so there wasn't many years. And I mean, every barber I've seen, they're slicked down. I mean, you can get okay to good barbers. I mean, that's what they, but even those, like there's so much silver loss. There's no grip on them. They're like planchets in a way,
Yeah.
But, if you find a good shaped barber, that's going to be worth some money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they're slabbed and straight graded, they're already worth some, quite a bit of money.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's the whole point is like, you can, the thing about that I really like about my bullion guy at the flea market that I go to is he doesn't go through his 90%. He doesn't give a shit. So, if I'm going to buy like say a bag of Mercury dimes from him, he doesn't waste his time looking for a 1916D. Like, he knows they're so rare, the chances of it being in there are pretty much slim to none anyways, and it's not worth his time. But there's a lot of other Mercury dimes that are also equally, if not even more valuable. So it's kind of like three things, right? You're stacking, you're collecting, and you're also coin roll hunting.
Exactly. I've been working on not as heavy, but my quarter box. So I've been buying some Washington quarters sometime. I just used actually my AppMex rewards on a tube of quarters.
Okay.
And an empty Eagle Monster box. I picked up an empty Monster box from AppMex. I had rewards, so it was free. You know.
That's
So
perfect.
that's coming tomorrow. You know.
I've probably got,
But,
I think I probably have about 400 or 500 in Washington quarters face value. So I'm good on my quarters, I think. I probably have about 250 to 300 face value in walkers, walking Liberty half dollars. And I've got another couple $100 face value in Mercury dimes. So like I said, another one of my goals is to stack $1,000 face of constitutional, but that's probably coming down the road.
So for every 100 ounces of constitutional, 71.5 ounces of silver. So almost 100 ounces. So you have about 400 to 500 in Washington quarters. So figure that's about 300 to 400 ounces. And you got 200 to 300 in dimes, you said?
Probably a couple hundred in Mercs and a couple, probably 200 to 300 in walkers.
So 75% of your stack is 90% junk silver.
No. How many ounces are you calculating?
Because you said you have 4 to 5. You said you have a little over than 1,000 ounces of silver, right?
No. That was when we were at that $18 8-month dip. No, I have significantly more silver than that now.
What do you place in? 1,500?
1,600 ounces.
1,600 ounces. So, and you say roughly total you have 800 ounces, 800 face value of junk silver?
I'd say somewhere between 700 to 800 face.
Yeah, so 700 to 800 face. So say
about 560. Say 500 ounces probably in constitutional.
So you have it's a little over a quarter of your stack is junk silver.
Almost a third, yeah.
And then what makes up the rest of it? Your silver stack.
Kilo bars, Britannias, Silver Eagles, and then there's a lot of like higher premium coins, some slabs. Yeah, so that's where it's at.
Yeah. How many kilos you up to now?
I think I have like 6 or 7 kilos.
Germanium mint kilos.
Yeah.
There you go. That's one of the best ways to add weight to the stack. I tell everybody. Kilo silver bars, man.
Cheap. It's cheap silver. It's like what, $2 over spot per ounce?
Yeah. Absolutely. Someone on Facebook today was selling kilo silver bars for 75 cents over spot.
Wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And I know he's reputable because I bought from him. He's very popular on Facebook. Kilo silver bars. I think they were like Vacombis or some shit. Or Harris bar or something like that. Not my favorite kilos, but 75 cents over spot. Shit. He must have paid spot for him.
Now, see, I know that you would jump all over that because it's a great deal.
No,
I wouldn't do it. Okay, so I wouldn't do it because my kilo bars are all Germania. So I would just be like, I'm just gonna pay the extra $40 or $50 to buy the Germania kilo.
See, exactly. Like I'm a very organized stacker. You know, I put my stacking in like tiers. You know what I mean? And my one is 10 ounce and kilo bars. Now, obviously, I don't stack every 10 ounce silver bar, every kilo silver bar. I have to like the mint. I have to like the bar itself. Germania is one of the top ones. Scottsdale, Royal Mint, Royal Canadian Mint, I like the cut saw Unity bars, Sunshine, and then for kilos, same thing, Germania. I like the Perth kilos. I like the Royal Mint kilos now. You know what I mean? I go for the ones I like, what I prefer, what fits my stack. Just like my government coins. I prefer my Eagles and Maples. And, if I can get Libertads cheap, I get Libertads. And then for junk silver, I love it all. The only ones I stay away from are the Rosies. I can't stand Rosies. If I do get them at a good deal, I sell them or I swap them for Mercs. But my favorite out of junk silver are Walkers and Mercs. Those are my two favorite coins to stack at a 90%.
Same here. I'm not a big fan of the Roosevelt dime either. I don't know why. I don't have a very good reason why. I just am not. It's kind of like...
I got a good reason why. I don't want to see FDR's phase, the first socialist freaking president this country had.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, and two, the guy freaking did 4 terms as president. Oh, no one else can do it, but it's fine if I do it. It's fine if I do it. You know what I mean? And the guy he was terrible. Terrible freaking president. He ran it like a monarch. He wanted to be a king. So I don't want to buy anything with his face on it. And two, it's just a bland old coin. It's boring.
Don't forget, wasn't FDR the president who issued the executive order for the gold confiscation?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's it.
There's that.
He was a terrible president. And people are like, oh, well, he helped the country through the Great Depression. And yeah, maybe he did. But the reason why he helped the country is because they went to war. That's why. It brought more jobs. You know what I mean? War is a moneymaker. So that's why our country fixed after that. You know what I mean? That was the only... But, you know what I mean? That's why people give him credit. Because, he got us out of the Great Depression. It's because of the war. World War II. That's exactly why. But he was a terrible president. So that's one of the main reasons. Now, by stacker mentality, it is one of the best coins to buy. Let's be honest. The best 90% to buy for silver content, it all has the same amount of silver, but some are worn out more than others. And the best ones to buy, if you're looking to get the most weight, are Kennedys, Rosies, and modern Washington quarters, like 60s. You're going to get more silver out of those because obviously the Mercs are older. They're going to be worn out a little bit more than the Rosies. Same thing with, Walkers. They're going to be more worn out than the Kennedys. Second best option is, the Franklins. But the older they are, which is common sense, the more old they're going to look, right? The more worn they're going to be, the more, life they've had. So I know there's a lot of stack. For example, Silver Dragons. If you look at his junk silver stack, I'd say 90% of it are Kennedys, Rosies, and Washington quarters because you're getting more silver out of it.
Yeah.
That's
a good point.
But me, do I go looking for coal or slick junk silver? No. But I don't care. All right, Kennedy's probably the better buy. I'm getting a little more silver than the Walkers. But to be honest, out of that, a tube of Kennedy should weigh 7.15 ounces. I've weighed the Walkers, 10 phase of Walkers, 10 phase of Kennedys, and the Walkers, they're like 7.13 or 7.12. You're not losing too much. And plus,
it's so minuscule. I would rather still have the Walkers.
Exactly. It's a big difference if you're throwing barbers. Barbers, you're probably in the high 6, But I and my coin shop, I can sort through my 90%. So he has monster boxes, empty Eagle boxes. One box is Walkers, one box is Franklins, one box is Kennedys, one box is Washington quarters, one box is Cole Standing Liberty quarters. If you want to get better ones. They're in a little bag, and that's going to cost you more money. That he's got a box of Mercs and a box of Rosies, and filled to the top. But I say, hey, I want 10 phase of Walkers. He'll pull out the box, let me sort, and I pick the ones with the most meat on their bones. You know.
Sure.
So as long as I'm picking, you know, I've gotten tubes of Walkers that were like slicked down to nothing from some people, and
That's a disappointment.
that is, you know, it's still dates and everything, but like literally, they're freaking, you know, planted.
I've bought bags of, or even rolls or bags of Constitutional before, and they were in great shape, but every single one of them almost looked cleaned. But again, it's just stacking at that point. So I don't really care if it's cleaned as long as it's not slicked down.
Now, I personally don't clean. I know a lot of people, but especially my buddy Silver Gold Stack Attack, probably still in the chat. When he gets his junk silver, he cleans it. He doesn't like the griminess on it. You know what I mean? And that's fine. I know a lot of people that do the same thing. They'll throw it in their sink in like a pitcher, fill it up with hot, warm water and Dawn dish soap, and just, you know, let it sit, get all that grimy shit out, whatever. I like that grimy. I like to feel the 90% and then have that black at the tips of my fingers. It's something about it. So
well, the tips of your fingers are already black from your cigarettes. So what's the difference?
Not black, motherfucker. Cigarettes. If you're smoking cigarettes and you're getting black fingers, then you better go to fuck a doctor. But no, cigarettes sometimes can turn your fucking fingers yellow. But that's if you don't fucking clean yourself and you fucking chain smoking like a motherfucker.
I'm the same way. I will not clean my Constitutional. I won't do it. I prefer it in its natural state.
I like the griminess of it, the dirtiness of it. I want to touch that shit and get a cold, you know. But you know, but I don't mind if I get a batch and they're cleaned. I don't care because it's
right.
It's not like
it's just
a BU. Yeah, it's not like it's a BU Walker. Or I was getting it to search. Hopefully, there's going to be a BU one. You know, damn well there's not going to be.
It's not going to be something that you're going to send in for grading. So who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my local coin shop does sell BU Walkers, BU Mercs, you know, that you can buy, not slabbed or not even in cards. They're, you know, in bags. You can buy them, but you're going to be paying for it. You're going to be paying for it, that's for sure.
Right. Right.
But hey, I'm gonna send the StreamYard link in the comments, see if anyone wants to join us for a little bit.
Okay.
Try something different, guys. The StreamYard link's right in the comments there in the chat. If anyone wants to join me and Triple P and talk for a little bit, you know, maybe we can hear your take on 90%, the prices on Eagles, or do you have any goals set this year? What do you want to finish by the end of the year, I should say, or maybe a new goal starting next year? You know?
Yeah, let's see who jumps in.
Yeah. Silver Ocean says he's eating tacos right now. Don't think dirty now, Triple P.
Reason my my chat just updated. My chat was stuck and it wasn't updating and it just refreshed. Silver Oceans is eating tacos right now. All right. Well, I wish I was eating a taco right now.
I fucking knew it. Mr. Triple P. Triple P loves tacos.
Oh, there it is.
Want to finish 500 ounce by the end of this year. I'm sure you will do that, Jenna. Pistol Packing Pastor says, we had tacos tonight. I'm sure you did, my friend. Nighthawk, he's going the healthy route. I'm eating veggies and dill dip. Ooh, who's joining us? Pixel.
Who do we got?
Why is it not letting me?
Someone's coming in to eat their tacos with us.
Yeah, they're not letting me add them in for some reason. Huh.
Really?
That's weird. Yeah, Pixel, you're not working. It won't let me add you, so I'm gonna add the next person waiting.
Who do we got?
Steve LaPoe.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Steve?
Welcome.
Is
what
he
are
there?
you stacking, Steve? We can barely hear you.
What's up? I'm from New York City. I connected with you, Patrioticstacker in upstate New York.
Oh, you're from New York City, huh?
All right. And you told me to go to Bullion Exchange. Bullion Exchange?
Bullion exchanges. Great prices.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You New Yorkers got me outnumbered. This Florida boy can't handle this much New York in one stream.
You're just jealous.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that New York pizza.
What were you saying about Bullion Exchange? Hello?
I go to here. I use Hero Bullion. I use money metals, much cheaper.
Money metals? Triple P, you bought from Money Metals before, right?
Yeah, Hero Bullion is better than Money Metals.
Have you shopped from Hero, Steve? Hero is another great bullion site.
Hero or Monument? Hero or Monument 95% of the time are my go-to.
Well, Steve left the chat, so let's see who's next here. All right, we got Nickel Stacking. Go Trump, go. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Nickel?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how old are you, Patriotic?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm a youngin'.
Yeah, I know. You're in your 20s?
He's younger than my wife.
I'm going to be 28 in, what's today? What's today? August 10th?
Okay.
August
And you
9th?
August 8th?
And you started buying metals at 27?
I started buying metals at 18 years old.
Wow, you're way ahead of us. I didn't start doing it until I was 31.
How old are you, Nickel?
I'll be 55 in December.
I
Oh,
wish
wow.
I would have started as early as you guys. I just started stacking 3 years ago. I'm only 3 years into it, and I'm 48. Patriotic could be my son.
Yeah.
What's up, Dad?
I mean, it's great that he's into that. I mean, it's great. I mean, I wish I would have done it when I was 18.
But look at you now. You said you started at 31, and now you're going to be 56. You said
55.
55. So you've been stacking nearly almost 30 years.
Yeah, but long time.
Long time, yeah.
And now I'm into platinum, and I'm in all.
There you go. Yes, I have an ally. Time to gang up on Patriotic. 2 platinum boys.
Oh, platinum is a steal right now. I mean, it really is.
Oh, it is.
It will get back to 22, probably 21, 2200. So
absolutely, you're going to look back on this and be like, I can't believe I didn't buy platinum when it was at $900 an ounce spot.
Triple P just found his new best friend.
Well, it compared to gold, it averaged in history higher than gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
look what it is today compared to gold in price. So yeah, it's a great buy right now.
Look at the face value of a 1 ounce platinum eagle and a 1 ounce gold eagle. I mean, a 1 ounce gold eagle is $50 face, and the platinum is $100.
I wonder why they never updated it. You think they would update it by now?
It's just a status thing where they're saying platinum is rare. It's the king. It used to be, I think, the king of metals, but it's not anymore, really. But and see, when I started, you couldn't invest in rhodium. Now you can. When I started out, I could only get silver, gold, platinum, and I think I'm not for sure if when I started in 1999, if you could even get palladium. I think maybe you could. But
look at that, Nickel. You started stacking when I was only 4 years old.
and it's been a while. So now on the president,
go into a coin shop, any coin shop, and look at the amount of silver they have, and then look at the amount of gold they have, and then look at the amount of platinum they have. And you will see that same trend through every single coin shop because it is significantly more rare than gold when we talk about the above ground supply.
Yeah, most LCSs don't even probably have platinum. If they do, they just bought it off somebody that day and they had it and they're putting it up for sale.
So one of the LCSs I go to here in Florida is one of the largest LCSs in the state. And they always have hundreds and hundreds of ounces of gold. They have thousands and thousands of ounces of silver. But when I was there the last time, they had over 100 ounces of gold in the display case. And they had 2 ounces of platinum. 2. And they were bars. They didn't have eagles. They were just 2 1-ounce platinum bars. That's it.
You know, it's funny. My local coin shop only carries platinum eagles.
But Patriotic, what is the ratio of gold versus platinum in your LCS?
I never really paid attention because I'm not a platinum guy.
But see, here's the thing. You're going to kick yourself for not paying attention to this someday, bro.
You know, I dibble and dabble with platinum in the beginning, and I just wasn't, you know, I noticed it wasn't as liquid. A lot of local coin shops would turn it down. The only way they would buy it is if it was a 1-ounce platinum eagle, and even then they were on the fence. I just, you know, my money was tied up with silver and gold, you know, and I stuck to it.
Do you remember the Gold Depot when the Silver Stacker would do the Gold Depot, go to the Gold Depot and interview Rich, the owner?
That guy loved platinum.
So he said anybody that walks into his coin shop with platinum, he buys it and he does not put it in the display case. He takes it home for himself.
Yep, I know. And then he said that whole thing about the pool. You could fill up 4 pools of 4 Olympic-sized pools with the gold in the world, and only half a Olympic-sized pool of platinum in the world, or some shit.
No. 4 pools of gold. You're correct, but 1 Olympic-sized swimming pool of platinum, but it would only come up to your ankles.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And another reason too, that's probably why you don't see it in these LCS shops. They're probably keeping it for themselves too. So because they're not going to want to turn around and sell it right now because they know it's going to go up, and they're going to want to wait till it's 2,000, 1,900, then sell it.
Yeah. See, my local coin shop, he never cared for platinum. Yeah, I mean, he obviously carries the platinum eagles for, you know, platinum stackers, but he's you know, he was on the fence of platinum. He said it's too wishy-washy. You know, they're switching back and forth between platinum and palladium and blah, blah, blah. And he's been telling me this for years. And just, you know, like I said, with my experiences from other coin shops and just platinum, and I like my gold and silver. You know, that's what I've stuck to.
On that note, you mentioned palladium. So palladium right now is down to $1,200 an ounce, right?
Yeah, its high was $3,400.
You cannot touch an ounce of palladium for less than $1,600, and that's just going to be a bar.
Yeah.
So I don't stack palladium because I'm not interested in paying that high of a premium. If platinum and palladium do flip someday, then I'll probably buy some palladium as well. Right now, I just like my platinum. But when you talk about, you know, palladium is down, and I talk about that all the time, you can't buy it for that price. It's just not available. And you're going to see platinum follow in those same footsteps. And then when people wake up and they say, holy shit, I need to buy some platinum, it's going to be too late.
Yeah, I think platinum's got a shot at 3,400.
What do you think, Emerald? What do you think of platinum?
Well, I like
34
platinum, considering I just bought my first piece of platinum yesterday.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was one of those like it was an interesting discussion hearing you all talk about platinum and the LCS because I've never seen any platinum in my LCS, and we have several up here in the northwest part of Florida. But I dropped off a couple of donuts to one of my favorite LCSs, and I passed by the gold counter, and there was it looked like silver on top, but I was like, there's no way he'd put silver on top of gold. It's got to be platinum. So I asked him about it, and I was like, yo, I'm definitely interested in that. And I bought it yesterday, and it seems like all the prices are tanking right now. So it really worked out for me. And I mean, I don't feel comfortable with a 1 ounce, but for a tenth of an ounce piece of platinum, I ended up getting it for $130 in $19.99 with in the box with all the paperwork. I couldn't pass it up.
It's a deal, Emerald. It's a deal right now, and I'm a platinum bull. I'm sitting on just shy of 12 ounces of platinum, and I'm going to continue to buy it. At these prices, I will continue to stack the shit out of it.
I mean, with platinum, I mean, we all know that it's for the catalytic converters, right? That's the big industrial purpose. But with the way technology is expanding, and I just don't think that we've found all the abilities that platinum can provide.
What's up?
And with our
So here's the thing. The catalytic converters were the big use of platinum back in the day, but with auto technology going in the direction that it is, you can't have a hydrogen fuel cell without having platinum as a catalyst. And I think that is the future for platinum. And I do believe that electric vehicles are a fad. I don't think they're going to last long term. And I think we're going to see over the next decade or two a lot more hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Hell, Toyota's already selling them. They're already out.
I mean, the hydrogen fuel cells one of the best ways to have public transportation. It's just you're not going to get at least not yet, the buy-in from all the major like Ford, Chevy. Maybe now they're getting into hydrogen fuel, but yeah, the alternative energies we kind of gotta look into.
Yeah, like nuclear energy.
I don't know, man. I don't know about the nuclear energy either. I'm big on solar. I mean, because I'm down here in Florida, I just see it. I think it has to be like power needs to be regionalized. Like some obviously are higher winds, so you can use some turbines there. But I don't know. I'm kind of taking this conversation in a weird direction. But I'm not quite sure that we've seen the entire potential of what platinum can do, because it is such a, I don't know what temperature it melts at, but it's an incredibly durable metal. And if you look at
it melts
no, go ahead,
much hotter than gold, much hotter, or silver.
Yeah. And with the way I'm looking at it is, okay, what's the future? Nowadays we have Bezos, we have Musk, we have what's the owner of Virgin? Branson?
Branson. Sir Richard Branson.
Yeah.
That's right. Like with all the space travel in the near future, I don't know how far off we are from colonization and such, but like commercial space travel, you're going to see flights going up in the next decade, I would think, by the elites and so forth.
Yeah.
Be me.
I don't know, it's just with the way we're expanding and the difference in wealth, like with the baby boomers that are getting ready to pass, this is one of the largest times in our history for generational wealth transfer. And I think that's another big reason why they're going to this CBDC and all that, just another reason. But you're seeing that divide from the 1%ers to the poverty class. And obviously the poverty class is growing. And that 1%, that I really think that they're going to be taking space travel often. I really do. I see that as like one of those trendy elitist things, like yachting was here decades ago.
Yeah.
Well, back to platinum. Jewelry, platinum and jewelry. It's guaranteed for 200 years, so it's very durable, and it doesn't get beat up and scratched up and stuff like gold and silver. So he's back.
The hip hop artists kind of helped with the spot price of platinum for a while.
Yeah, they like platinum, boy.
But y'all mentioned Roosevelt. Yeah, as a president, I have to say I don't think I would have voted for him, but and he was a socialist, but nothing like they are today. And he is better than Biden. We'll say that.
He's better than most of them today.
Well,
but
a potato growing in the fields of Idaho is better than Biden.
Yeah. Well, he was a good war president, though. I have to give him credit for that. That's why I have a hard time saying was he a bad president? Was he a good? He was pretty excellent because I pretty much think he was involved in picking our generals, and he did one heck of a. We had really great generals. We won that war because we had great generals.
We did have
Nicole, Mrs. Triple P is asking me to ask you, where are you from? Because she's picking up on that Southern accent you got.
Okay. Well, I guess you'd say it's a Kentucky accent, but I'm in Indiana. Southern Indiana.
Okay. She was betting North Carolina because that's where her family is from.
Well, some people say they think I'm from Texas. I go, no, not. No, I'm not. But no.
I lived in Texas 10 years. That ain't Texas.
Yeah.
Going back to FDR, he did pick some great generals. You had Eisenhower, you had Patton, you had some great generals. But I think the turning point was FDR had a big play, but Truman, he really put a stop to it. He just said enough's enough. Let's bomb the hell out of him.
Yeah. If he doesn't bomb Japan, we lose probably another couple million.
Oh yeah, because the Japanese they
don't give up.
There's no give up. It's either win or die. You know what I mean? And at the point, after the Battle of Midway, which was early in the war, we destroyed their Navy fleet. Their Navy fleet was gone.
Yeah, catastrophic events in Midway.
Yep, and
we got lucky too, though.
Payback. That was like, all right, you guys, you mess with the wrong people. You woke up a sleeping giant, and ever since then, we became the power of the world, right? But that really screwed up their fuel. How are they going to get fuel? How are they going to transport? How are they going to, So they were living on reserves from end of 41, beginning of 42 on to 45. And the last year, they were literally taking planes and driving it in. And that's what caused most of the casualties in the Pacific were kamikazes. So they were getting desperate, but there was no quitting them. I mean, they were fighting. It took so much and so much blood spilt just to gain a few inches in the Pacific. And, honestly, if we didn't drop a bomb, we would have went the rest of the mid to late 40s.
Oh, yeah. It would have taken 10 years.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah. Just cleaning house. You know what I mean? Even though we pretty much at that point destroyed their military, whatever was left, but just cleaning house. And I mean, have you heard that story with those two Japanese? There was a unit, like 3 or 4 guys out in this island, out in Asia. And they stood ground. They had no communication, but they stood ground. And eventually in the 1970s, a reporter, had to find the general in command of that unit at that time. And this guy was like 90 at the point. He's old. Brought him there, and that soldier had to hear from him that the war was over. So we spent like 30 years on that island, waiting for the next attack. He was never going to surrender. And the only way he would is if his general or the emperor would tell him to stand down. And That's a real story. You know, there's videos on it.
I think I remember that, Patriotic.
I heard it. I remember it. Yeah, I think he tried to attack somebody or something. The guy kind of say, "Bro, it's over."
Well, there's like photographs of him with his samurai and his clothing, and he's surrounded by like a lot of high-profile politicians and so forth.
So when they took him back in the 70s, Japan's changed so much, and it really took him years to adjust. He never really adjusted, but he lived another 30, 40 years until he died. I think until like in the 90s or early 2000s. But it was a crazy story, but it just shows their loyalty, and the loyalty of the Japanese people go back thousands of years. Their emperor, there was like a god to them, and
honor. It's all honor to them.
Yeah, and even the samurais, you know, it was, and the Japanese soldiers did this in World War II. If they got caught, if they were losing, they didn't want to die by their knife, by the enemy's knife. They would commit suicide. I mean, it's the Japanese people are very loyal, and also very, very work driven, very hard working people. But
they have an interesting culture. You know, dating back to early parts of their civilization.
Absolutely.
They don't put their parents in nursing homes. They take them in.
Exactly.
Oh, it's our culture here in the United States. My goodness.
They put them in a closet.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Disgusting.
Listen, I told my mom and my father I'd put a bullet in their head before I put them in a home. So they got.
But I mean,
worry about that.
That's also the interesting clashes between the two cultures versus the East and the West. You know, like Asian culture, it's honor, it's, you know, loyalty, etc. And they also honor their elders. Whereas here, it's like in the United States, it seems like not me per se, but the media and so forth will look up to these children that are these teenage stars and put them on a pedestal. And I'll be damned if some little kid's going to tell me what to do. Like, I've earned my right to be a dick.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's right. I spent years working up to pin that frickin' badge on my chest. Damn it.
Yeah. But it just shows the importance of loyalty. I mean, you know, just in their, and to this day, you know, those people are like, you know, they're very, very loyal people. And you know, you see over here, you know, loyalty is becoming a thing that's hard to find nowadays. You know, people will trade on you on a dime. I mean, even in business, I do flooring for a living, and you're working with builders. A lot of my, you know, clients are builders, you know, building houses, and they're looking, you know, they're in business to make a profit. They're not in business to lose, but I've had builders drop me for 10 cents, you know, 10 cents a foot. Oh, the other guy was 10 cents a foot cheaper than you. 10 cents. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, you going to fill up gas at your favorite gas station, and the gas station next door is a penny more, less. You know,
well,
here's
the thing though. You get what you pay for, and people have to understand that. It's like my father, for example. He's a painter, and he does contracting, and he's never ever the cheapest. In fact, he's probably one of the more expensive. But he also does the best damn quality work. And you know, I'm sure your flooring is probably the same way. Patriotic, you may not be the cheapest, but you might do a better job than the guy who is the cheapest. And people have to understand, you're not going to be able to hire the cheapest guy and get a freaking job that you would do in a $10 million home. That's not how shit works.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, getting your car painted. Yeah, you can go get what's that shop there? They're all over the country. Mako or Mako, whatever.
Yeah.
You go get a paint job, you know, a regular mid-grade paint job. You spend $3,000-$4,000, or you want to go get a nice paint job. And you know, if you want to get you got a muscle car, and you want to get a professional paint job on that muscle car, you know that car is going to be in that shop for 10 months to a year.
Yeah.
To properly paint that car, and that paint job is going to come out, and there's going to be no imperfection. You know what I mean? You're going to pay top dollar, but you're going to get top dollar, and that also, it's going to up the value. You know, that people, when they buy that car, they're going to pay for that paint job.
Yeah, and I think it's also putting a value on your quality. Like, you know what you're worth.
Oh, exactly.
You know, like, why would you undersell yourself? Like, not good. I don't know. I'm kind of a capitalist in that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You get what you pay for. I mean, so like the big thing us people say in the community here, you know, it's too good to be true. It usually is.
Mm-hmm.
And you get what you vote for.
Exactly.
Oh, well, wait a minute. You get what you didn't. You get what you didn't vote for. That's one.
Well, yep, there's that. Hey, we got an answer to our platinum question. P. Kizzle in the chat said the melting point is 3,215 degrees.
Yeah.
And silver's
And
what?
don't they use that in the tip of bunker busters? I thought the tip was platinum that goes under one layer, another layer, and another layer, and then blows.
Like a Moab?
That's could be highly possible. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it either. Like for the defense, I mean, I could definitely see platinum being utilized for defense. But if you notice, like under this administration, the defense budget's definitely going down.
They're taking stuff out of it for social programs. They're killing the military.
Yeah, they're taking it out and giving it to these people that haven't paid their dues, and they come over here and get everything handed to them, or they're taking it for us to give kids sex changes, and they're taking it for the little fishies in the ocean because they're dying. You know, like fucking. Do you remember that pandemic? They had that big vote for this bill and for all this money going to certain things. You should have read some of where they were bringing this money. Some of this money that has to do for, you know, helping businesses and the American people. Some of that money in that COVID package was for saving the certain species of fish in the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. Give me a break. We need to worry about America. We need to worry about our people. Instead of helping these people that are crossing the border for their own stupidity, how about you sit there and help the homeless vets or the homeless people on the street or the elderly that can barely live off their measly Social Security, that paid millions of dollars from the minute they started working at freaking 18 years old, or maybe even younger than that, to the minute they retired. You know what I mean? The worst thing I see, man, is walking into Walmart and seeing an old person in their 80s working because they got to. We're in the freest, most powerful, you know, country in the world, and they treat their fucking people like shit.
Well, you know, they had the pipeline, original pipeline. When they started, they had to extend it out because it said there was a frog in there, and they're afraid that frog would go extinct. And
an endangered species.
Yeah. I'm worried about a frog. You know, I mean, then look at the cost they added on, and then it's crazy.
I think it's like you use that card, the endangered species card, when it helps you out the most. I mean, I'm using the endangered species card down here in Florida, where we don't want a thoroughfare going in front of my house, so we have an endangered salamander or lizard, and we got to save the lizard.
Yeah. I remember,
like, you know, when it takes care of you, you're gonna fight for it, man. And I don't know. I think
the city that the city that I live in here in Florida, Cape Coral, we're like notorious for these. They call them burrowing owl, and they are an endangered species. And it is so bad that if you have a burrowing owl that comes into your front yard or backyard for that matter and decides to make a nest, well, now that is the city comes in and they basically take that piece of property away from you and they take over it until that owl decides to leave. I told Mrs. Triple P, you watch one of those motherfuckers come into my yard, that motherfucker is going to disappear at 2 a.m. We're going to be having burrowing owl eggs for fucking breakfast.
I remember building this house. I had to clear out the trees, right? And the inspector said, "Oh, you can't take down trees right now. You have to wait till wintertime and fall." I said, "Why?" I said, "Oh, because the bats, they come certain species of bats come and they stay in the trees during the summertime, certain part. I said, you mean to fucking tell me I can't cut down trees on my own property? Oh yeah, not right yet. So you know what I did? I didn't get a fucking permit, and I fucking cut down the fucking tree.
That's right.
Good. Fuck them.
You know
It's
what?
your
Well,
tree. It's your
it's my
fucking yard.
fucking property. I don't care about fucking bats. They're fucking disgusting rodents anyways. Fuck them.
Right.
What are bats doing
Flying
for our
rats.
fucking environment right now? You know what I mean? Besides shitting out poisonous shit that's very toxic, by the way.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And they give rabies. Yeah, I'm gonna save the bats that one day, you know, we're cooking outside at nighttime in the summer, and it comes, lands on my fucking kid and bites it. Oh yeah. And then there's a $1,200 medical bill when I go to the emergency room to get him rabies shots. Yeah, fuck those bats. I'm cutting down.
That shit is pretty extensive. Those shots, from what I've heard, are really fucking painful.
It's like a series of 10 shots, man. You got to go like every so many weeks or some shit.
In the
I'm
stomach.
sure someone in the chat had to take them at some point.
You can't get rid of rabies. The only way that you can save yourself is to take precautions to prevent it in case you've contracted it. Once you get the disease, you're done.
You're fucked. Once you get it, so if you get bit, you have to go to the hospital right away, start these trials of shots, and then hope you don't get it, and you're good. But once you get it, you get bit, and you wait like 3 months, and then all of a sudden you got a sniffle, you can't drink water, you're foaming out the mouth, you're fucked.
I wish Tiger Stacker was in the chat right now, because Tiger Stacker is an ER physician. And I would love to hear Tiger Stacker piping about this rabies shit, because I guarantee you he's seen that in his ER.
Is this a common thing for like up in New York, for example, Patriotic? Like, are people getting bit by bats and getting rabies?
It's not common. It's not fucking common.
Another reason. Fuck New York.
It was just, man, you were going off about it. I was just like, God, this must actually happen more often than I think. And
yeah,
I was like, did it happen to one of the kids or something?
No,
you struck a nerve with Patriotic.
That's what I thought, Triple P.
But when they're gonna tell me I can't cut down my fucking trees in my yard because of fucking bats staying in them, fuck it. Fuck those people. Fuck those bats.
Fuck it.
Those bats, man. Every time in the summer, I don't know if it's like that down by you or anything, but you're barbecuing, you're shooting off fireworks, whatever. They're flying like
dive bomb you
above your head, man. They dive bomb your ass. And I'd be terrified if one landed on me, dude. I'd be running like a little bitch.
They home in. They home in on sound.
They don't. Yeah, they squeak like these. What do they call sonar? Because they're blind. Stupid fuck.
You're killing me over here, man. You're just killing me.
I had them in my chimney, my old. And
Patriotic. I have just figured out what I'm gonna do. If I lose this bet with you, the 10-ounce bar that I fucking buy you is gonna have a fucking bat on it.
Hell
you better, yeah. Find one
Batman bar.
With a bat.
I'm gonna give you a fucking Batman bar.
Fuck them bats, man. Ugly.
Yeah, with like, you don't let people know what you're doing with your property. Like, the minute you take it down to the county office or you ask for permission or a building permit or anything like that, you're on their radar, so to say. But like, I avoid those people like the plague, man.
Oh yeah, because you know what? As soon as they do something, you put fencing around your yard, you build a shed, you build a garage. What do? Next year, taxes went up. Oh shit, I was paying 8, now I'm paying 10 because I built the fucking garage. Yeah, and luckily I'm in woods. You know, I have a long driveway. I can hide a lot of shit. I built the back deck on my back of the house. I didn't go get a permit for it. Did I go by code? Yes. I went no more than 8 inches apart on the treads. You know what I mean? The spindles no more than 4 inches apart. I think I did 2 inches. You know what I mean?
You did your back deck yourself?
No, I didn't. A little bit. I didn't. I can't do stairs, man. Stairs are fucking. I can do them, but it'll fucking take me. I'll cut 20 fucking different treads before I get them right.
Man, that'd be rough.
I'm not good with the fucking treads. I can do the decking. The treads I can do. It just takes me a long. I called my buddy and we banged it out together.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have hands to help do decks.
Those treads,
I've never done one. But...
Oh, those treads are fucking.
See, I live in a
I mean, you
normal
can buy the-
subdivision, and I have cars driving down my street, and I have neighbors, so I
You
can't
ain't
get
got
away
no
with
deck.
that
It's
shit.
flat land on there and concrete slabs. There's no such thing as fucking decks in Florida.
Well, oh, there actually
They're both-
is. Like my
both
whole
decks?
pool area is nothing but a concrete deck.
Yeah, that's I'm talking about, like a raised wooden deck. I'm not
No,
talking about concrete.
fuck wood. It's concrete. It's poured cement.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
saying
the weather
down
down
south.
The weather
all-
down here can get really nasty, so wood doesn't last very long down here. That's why there's like
No,
more.
so
brick.
I didn't do wood. I did, obviously the frame of the deck is wood, pressure treated wood, but the spindles, I do vinyl Trek,
Oh wow!
the stairs and you know, the decking, and then I do the vinyl
Man,
railing.
nice.
That's what I don't do the pressure treat. The pressure
Did you
treat
get
is
a good
obviously
deal
the frame.
Did you get a good deal through your business?
Well, I don't, you know, I can use my business account, business, you know, cost, but I do wood flooring, you know, I don't get like the same deals I do with, you know, wood flooring supplies as decking, but I mean, if you have a business and you go into Home Depot, Lowe's, or 84 Lumber, or whatever, True Value, ACE,
You still have
You
a
get
contractor's
business
discount, right?
yes, you get a contractor's discount, absolutely.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how I can use my Patty Goats lawn service and get this hookup.
There you go. Tell them you have a business. You can get whatever the hell you want. You know, it's not much,
Hey, every little bit counts.
but every little bit counts. Exactly. Like, for example, I just picked up some paint the other day, some Benjamin Moore, and it was $67 a gallon.
Ugh.
Contractor discount, I got it for $63 a gallon. So you save a couple
So-
bucks a gallon.
So, like my father, who's a painting contractor, his discount. In fact, when he painted my house for me, I used his contractor's discount to buy the paint. He gets 50% off. So I'll go to Sherwin-Williams. I'll use his contractor's discount, and I got like 5-gallon buckets of like a Promar 200 or 2000, I forget. Promar
Your dad
200. It's
prefers-
like an industrial grade. It's a decent paint. And it was like a 50% discount.
Your dad likes, that's his paint of choice, Sherwin-Williams.
Well, that's where he has the biggest discount. And
Yeah.
Sherwin-Williams
guessing-
has paint that is equivalent to like a Benjamin Moore. They've got certain
Sherwin-Williams-
lines of paint that contractors use that is a very good quality paint.
Yeah. You know, so the paints I use, I don't use that Bear shit at Home Depot. That's garbage. That's fucking garbage shit. But the Benjamin Moore, especially Benjamin Moore Regal, that's some good paint. If I don't do Benjamin Moore, I do Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams is good too. But every painter has their choice of paint, right? Some like Benjamin Moore, some like Sherwin-Williams.
But those are the big two.
Yeah, I would say those are the big two.
I'd say those are the big two. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Sherwin-Williams is probably the biggest when you talk about number of dealers throughout the nation.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen more like brick and mortar. Like I've seen more storefronts.
Yeah, so Benjamin Moore is mostly like the Ace Hardware, the True Value, the you know, Do It Best. You know, you find those there, but Sherwin-Williams actually have their own stores.
Yeah,
You
my
know,
wife wants to paint the house, and I'm just like dreading it.
It's
Paint
amazing
that.
how expensive that is. It is
Yeah.
so freaking expensive to paint a house. Like when I had my father come down and paint my house, it was great because I bought the paint. I paid a 50% discount on all of the paint, and all I had to do was take him and my stepmother out for dinner every night. I mean, it's like it's fucking great. You're talking about something that probably would have been like a $10,000 or $12,000 paint job, probably. You know?
Absolutely. And the darker paint, though, the more coats you got to do. So that equivalence too. You know, I remember painting the house. My son wanted to do a dark red in his room, and half the wall was white and wanted to do red like Pokemon. And he likes fucking Pokemon. So I said, whatever. I let the kids pick their colors of their rooms. And my painter, he's like, oh, yeah, you got to get another gallon. I said, you're just painting fucking 2 walls red. Oh, yeah, you need another gallon.
Yeah, because you're painting a white wall.
Yeah, it was not, you could see the white still. He had to put, I think all said and done, he put like 3 or 4 coats on that wall.
How much does a gallon of paint square footage wise? How much does that cover? Do you know off the top of your head?
It tells you on the can.
Okay, I need to go in the Sherwin-Williams calculator and.
But it depends
There's
on
a
what
formula. There's a square footage formula, but here's the thing: whatever they tell you, it's going to cover.
Extra.
You need to add 15 to 20%.
Add extra, yeah.
Just because when you exceed, is that what you're talking about? Like when you actually need more paint?
Well,
they tell you 1 gallon, get 2 gallons.
They calculate those calculations based off of, you get the paint on the roller, you roll it on the frickin' wall, and you spread it out as much as you can. So you're getting maximum coverage, but there might be some bleed through. But if you're painting your house, you're gonna probably put it on a little thicker. You're probably not gonna be trying to. What's that?
I said my back hurts already.
Oh yeah, especially
dude, it's ball busting work. It sucks. Like when I was a kid, I can remember my dad took me on jobs with him, and he tried to give me a taste of what it was going to be like to be a painter. And I realized I realized in about the first 40 seconds, fuck this. This is dog shit. I don't want anything to do with this.
But I'll tell you something, they make killer money.
Well, no, I mean, my dad does okay, but I mean, obviously I do significantly better than him flying planes. And I'm glad that he did what he did to me, because he made me realize that I did not want to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, I know some painters, man, that are fucking millionaires.
Well, you're probably talking about contractors too. I mean, when you're talking about the grunts that are slopping the paint on the wall.
Oh yeah, I know straight up painters. You got to think of it, man. Painters charge more than me sometimes.
That's right.
Painting a house is one of the most expensive things to do in your house. Besides, your trimming with the cabinets, building your kitchen and stuff. But painting, I mean, I had my house priced, and it was going to be like a $30,000 job throughout the whole house, the garage. It was fucking crazy. They make
the thing about painting. The thing about painting that you have to understand, and actually I paint fairly well. I just don't like doing it. But the thing Mrs. Triple P's laughing at me. The thing that you have to remember about painting is 85% of it is prep work. The more prep work you do, and the more you take your time on your prep in the beginning, the less headaches you're going to have after you slop the paint on the wall.
Yeah, that's an art form in itself.
It is. Like everything from masking baseboards and doorknobs. I mean, every one of those corners, and like it's even using like the right tape. Like back in the day, painters used masking tape, right? Now they have frog tape, and frog tape is leaps and bounds better than masking tape. So it's just a matter of like learning the tricks of the trade that most guys take years and years to learn.
Oh yeah, and like I said, if you know a trade and you're good at it, trades is where the money is, man. Trades. If you built a successful business and you're a good worker and you have a good name for yourself, you can make more money than doctors, lawyers, and all types of shit.
Yeah, but that's part of the problem of being a business owner, is finding the right help.
Well, yeah, that's always that's one of the big things. You know what I mean? I know guys out there that are one-man band. They take enough work that they can get done and make a living that way. They don't want help. And then I know guys that have teams of 8 people. But the thing is, there's pros and cons of both. There's a double-edged sword. So say you got a team of 8 people. Yeah, you're getting more work. You're getting more work done. But if it slows up, you got 8 guys on payroll. And
Yeah.
also, if you're a business owner and most of your work's on builders, you don't get paid all right away. You're waiting a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to a month. Some contracts for 3 months. And you got to pay your guys every Friday. So if you ain't got that money, you know what I mean? You got to always have that money. You always got to be searching for it. And not only that, it's hard to find good help. No one wants to work. And when they do want to work, they ain't got no car, they ain't got a license, or they're experienced, but they want top dollar. You know, they want you to pay them like they've been working 20 years in the trade. So it's hard to find help. You know, I have a few good guys that help me out, but I kind of keep them as a part-time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, I need you.
Yeah.
I don't need you.
A job basis.
Exactly. And I pretty much do everything by myself. And I have one good guy that probably averages 40 hours a week. You know what I mean? But that's full time. I guess I have one full-time worker. And then I also sub out a lot of jobs. You know, I got, you know, every man in my family is in the flooring business. And, you know, you all can meet other floor guys, become friends with them. So I sub out a lot of jobs too if I get busy. So
Yeah.
I have the employees without the headache. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about payroll. When I have a job that I can't get to, okay, I'll sub it out. What do you want? I'm charging $3 a foot. I'll give you $1.25 a foot. Is that fair? Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Hey,
And, you know,
Patriotic, how did you get into flooring? Was this like a family business? Did your dad teach you, or how'd you get into
my
it?
grandfather on my mom's side came over from Norway. He was a
Okay.
whaler. He was a whaler. That's just when whaling was big. He was a whaler, traveled the world, came to America, invited my grandmother over, and he's a good woodworker. He, you know, outside of whaling, you know, he built all types of things, done floors over in Norway. So he started a floor business back in 1964, and you know, he taught. You know, when his son was old enough, he did it. You know, my mom met my father. He started working for my grandfather, my other uncles, for my aunts.
So this is a
family
trade
business.
that was passed down through the generations, that you learned a lot of tricks from
passed down through generations and learned. And then when, you know, guys went on their own. My father went on his own eventually, started his flooring business. My uncle, my grandfather's son, left and started his own business. My uncle that was married to my aunt, he went out and started his own business. Guys that worked for my grandfather, close family friends, left and started their own business. Every floor guy in my area, from I'd say northern Pennsylvania to northern Jersey to, you know, the Hudson Tri-State Valley in New York up to South Connecticut, are all related or very close family friends. So we're pretty much no competition in a way. I mean, the only competition we got are pretty much the Brazilians from, you know, New York City or Brazil. So what they do, they undercut the hell out of guys because they're coming from a country, they're making $10 a week. So what they do, 10 of them will get on a plane somehow, you know, get over here or cross the border or whatever. They'll all, you know, stay in one apartment, living like animals, right? 10 guys in a 2-bedroom apartment. And they're happy as long as they can eat, whatever, they're happy. So they can charge a job that's usually a $6,000 job. They can say, okay, we'll do it for $1,500. They'll bang it out. All 10 guys will bang it out in a day, and they all split $200. Their rent's only $50 between them. So they can do that, you know, and they're happy with that. So that's causes a problem because, you know, people see that and they're like, oh, cheaper. But, you know, they realize that it ain't better. But it's not really.
It's American currency too.
Yeah.
And so it goes a lot farther. So.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, though, what helps us is our name, the family's name, the companies, and we all work together. Like, I have my own business, I do my own stuff, but my father calls me, hey, I got a job, can you help me? Yeah. My uncle calls me, got a job, can you help me? Yes. A friend that's worked for my grandfather for many years, Hey, can you help me? All the floor guys, we work together. Outside, we have our own separate business, but we all, what I mean? We're all friends. We're not assholes. We all charge the same price. So when you got those homeowners trying to price shop, surprising, they're all charging the same amount. So now they're just going to pick who they prefer. But it's good. But it's been a family thing. I went on my own 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, it seems like it's definitely worked out.
Oh yeah, I'm very blessed.
Yeah, when I was 20, I turned 27 in basic training for the Air Force. For my family, it's all military for the most part, and I joined at age 27.
All military. My dad's side is all military, but none of them really made a career out of it.
Yeah, but it seems like you're way ahead of the game. Where like when I was 27, man, forget about it. Yeah, I was busy drinking and chasing broads and
I'm impressed. So
a lot of it was just being taught the right way of doing things. My dad is very, very. I call him the Jew. He's just with money, and so cheap at the same time. But he taught me, investing and saving and doing the right thing. And I picked up good things from my family. Not only fantastic. My father, my grandfather, and and my dad. I remember taking a little bit of money that I worked when I was in school. Working on Easter break, Christmas break with my father, weekends, and I would save up the money, and I would, get $1,000 or whatever instead of putting it towards the newest game system or a toy. I would give it to my dad, and he would invest it in a muscle car, and we would buy it, fix it up, and he would sell it. And I said, all right, out of your $1,000, you made $1,400, and it would keep on climbing and climbing and climbing. And when I got older, I started investing with him in real estate, and then instead of making $1,000 plus my $400 back, I'm making $20,000. You know what I mean? So that's I owe a lot of it, obviously busting my ass, but I owe a lot of it for my father teaching me the rope.
Now, what you need to do with this Patriotic is you got to have like an adult male summer camp where we all go in the woods and you tell us about all this stuff, and so we can implement it.
Yeah. But you guys,
it mainly just all of us drinking and partying and having a good time.
Exactly. I'd be down for that.
I'm all for drinking in the woods. Hell yeah.
We all got to meet in the middle, though. I'm not fucking driving all the way down to Florida to go camping. We'll have to meet in the middle.
Tennessee, Kentucky, or Virginia. One of those 3 states, man. That's like Appalachia area. I absolutely love.
Where do you live again?
I live in between Pensacola and Fort Walton Beach, a little town called Navarre. It's a little beach town.
How about you, Nick?
Emerald, you got to come hunting with us in January. We're going up to Troy, Alabama.
What are you hunting, whitetail?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Freaking best kept secret, man. It's super cheap. It's like they give you your 3 meals a day. I got a really nice 8-pointer off of this land.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome for down here.
Or Emerald, you can come up to the woods in my yard and get deer meat free.
Oh man, I would love to go to upstate New York too. So my buddy, old Air Force buddy of mine, he invited me up to Montana for big game hunting.
Oh yeah.
And I've never hunt big. I mean, I've hunt deer. I like to fish a lot, but I've always wanted to go like big game hunting. But it's like, okay, let's say I get a moose or a caribou or something. Like, okay, how am I going to get this meat down to Florida? So it's like it's like a logistical issue for me now.
The better question is, how are you going to get it out of the woods?
It'd be like an ATV.
Yeah, I mean, generally you're having to like frickin' backpack pretty deep into the woods to
we would ATV it.
So then you get it out of the woods, and then depending on if you're flying or if you're driving, if you're flying, you can actually ship it in dry ice.
I would like to drive it. I just like long long driving trips?
Okay, so if you're gonna drive it here's what I do, because it was Mrs. Triple P, how many hours? Like 11 or 12 hours back to our house from Troy. So with my whitetail meat, what I did was I had a really, really big fucking cooler. And I probably had about 400 pounds of meat in it, because we
Nice.
dropped some fucking deer in 3 days, man. We dropped several fucking deer. And I just packed it with ice. So you take the meat, you wrap it up, and just pack it with ice. And if you can get like 40, 50 pounds of ice on top of that meat, it'll be fine. I mean, by the time I got it back to Southwest Florida, it was frozen solid.
Nice. Okay, then it is feasible
it's
on a cheaper level.
Yeah. So here's the catch. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a cooler that has a drain spout. So if what you do is
refilling.
Yeah. So drain the water out every night, and just top off the ice, after you drain the water out, and it should be good for another 13, 14 hours of driving, and then just drain the water out and see what the ice level drops to, and rinse and repeat.
Kind of take my time getting up there and kind of rush back. I was trying to figure out, okay, because anytime I take a long road trip, I try and find little jaunts to go to kind of break up my trip.
You don't even need to rush back. You can take your time. You just got to take care of your meat properly every night, and it'll be fine.
You got to take care of your meat, Emerald.
I do. I take very good care of it.
Now, let's move on to our sponsor, Manscaped. Best damn fucking razor you can buy.
But hey, you were mentioning your
sponsor is the Norelco One Blade. Get yourself a Norelco One Blade.
Fuck that. Manscaped, you can put that shit right on your balls with all your creases and wrinkles, and it ain't gonna cut nothing.
Jesus,
I really
Patriot.
I need to get.
Take it easy.
I need to get one of those, because I've been using a Norelco One Blade, and I keep hearing about this Manscaped thing.
God dang, man. That sounds a little hairy down there. Triple B. But you're saying you're down in Cape Coral, right?
Yeah. We're down in Cape Coral, so that's down by Fort Myers.
Yeah, my wife's best friend lives in Cape Coral.
Oh,
so
shit.
Next time we go down there, I'll definitely hit you up.
Yeah, and send me an email when we get off if you're interested in that hunt, and I'll send you the website, because it's who's going with us this year. Liberty Stacking's going, and Pistol Packing Pastor's going. So,
cool.
There's going to be several of us.
If you don't want to be scarred for life, don't go.
Okay.
You'll end up on a fucking famous stream at like 1:00 in the morning.
What did you say?
Let's just say there may or may not have been alcohol involved.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
He doesn't want to talk about that stream. He don't like that stream very much.
No, there is no stream. The stream was deleted. It's gone. It doesn't exist.
He was almost kicked off of YouTube for life.
What?
If that was on his channel, he would have been done for.
Okay, give me the Cliff Notes version.
So what we did? No, we're not gonna talk about that. What we did was we used Liberty Stacking's channel.
The nasty is what happened. The nasty is what happened.
We're not discussing. We're not discussing it. That's a conversation for another time.
That's why I don't go, Emerald.
That's why I don't go, Emerald. I love it.
That's the only reason why I don't go. I'm not going either to pay to shoot fucking deer.
Well, I mean, you're up way north. Down here, the deer are so small.
There's some nice bucks up there. There's some real nice bucks up there. I had an experience with a buck that they've been hunting for years, and they didn't even think he was still alive. And I had an experience with him, and I got it on camera. And, oh, dude. In fact, he has been named Hot Bobby. So I am I'm going back up in January, and I am going to find Hot Bobby. I'm bringing that motherfucker home this year.
That is a terrible soundbite, Triple P. I'm bringing Hot Bobby, and I'm gonna steal this, and I'm gonna recoup.
Don't let Trident Stacking get a hold of this. or fucking cons. Don't let cons get a hold of this.
You know what? Just man, we're talking about like images that are burned into our brain. That damn sex change operation photo. I knew I shouldn't have clicked on that on your Instagram, and I was like, I just got to see it. And I saw it, and it just, man, it's there. It's like a garbage pail.
JK says,
If
JK
I go,
says,
if I go hunting, if I ever go hunting, it'll be with Ted Nugent. It'll be get some of those.
fuck yeah.
He's pure,
Fuck
man. He's
yeah.
a pure hunter.
I'll pay to go hunting with him. That's for sure.
He does bow.
And
He does
I want to go boar hunting with him. So if we do
Dude,
it,
I'll learn a few things from him too. On top of it, and then I'll ask him to play fucking Stranglehold.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah, that's like the ultimate.
JK Pioneer said, "I remember that stream." And Haley,
you hear what I said?
JK, you remember nothing.
And I said, you and I were the only two in the chat, JK. I said, what we saw and heard that night will never be forgotten.
Oh my god! You know what we need in the community? We need like an illustrator in the community that can like
a Morgan Freeman.
No, like someone that can draw cartoons really well.
Oh
and
my god!
Draw out cartoons for all these stories that everyone shared.
Oh
like
dear God!
Like the whole speg thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just think that would be hysterical.
Dear God!
But you were a patriotic. You were talking about your family coming up from doing a lot of flooring and stuff like that, and you just reminded me of the Jerky Boys.
Who?
Did you ever listen to the Jerky Boys back? Oh, I forgot. You're like 27. Back in the day, there was these two guys called the Jerky Boys, and they would do fake phone calls. He'd be like, "Yeah, Jerky, I'm calling about the job," and he would like prank people. Am I the only one that's heard this?
Is it like the puppets?
No, it's not crank anchors. It's actually guys from like one of the 5 boroughs. Like one of them's. He talks like a Muslim. He's like the Egyptian magician. And then there's another guy who's like, yeah, this is Frank Rizzo. I'm calling about the job, fruitcake. And he just insults people.
Did he do the Indian that said, you kicked my dog?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That's what you reminded me of when you're like, when you were talking about like all the jobs, when you're like, you got to call about the job. And I was like, oh God, it's the Jerky Boys.
Yeah,
but it was heartfelt. I didn't want to interrupt.
I've seen some of those. Yeah. Shit, Jerky Boys. Ever heard of the Circle Jerks?
Oh yeah, the bands.
Fuck yeah,
dude! You listen to a lot of bands. You name dropped the Pixies the other day, and I was like, oh wow, Pixies.
Love the Pixies, man.
Yeah, they're badass.
And I'll tell you something. I seen them. I was gonna see them not too long ago, and I should have. I fucking should have, but I never did.
Just didn't feel like going.
No, something came up or something, or my wife didn't want to go. So fucking I ain't going to go by myself. Fuck that.
It takes a lot for me to get out and go see a venue these days.
Yeah, I'll go. I love going when I got to go. You know, my buddies with me or even my wife goes, but I ain't going by myself. I'll get lost. I'll get fucking hammered, and I'll end up fucking, in a fucking parking lot all fucked up and
with Hot Bobby.
20 fucking fights. And,
end up in a parking lot in a back alley with Hot Bobby.
Oh my God, me, my buddy Joe.
We'll call him Joe.
And my buddy Lou. We went to Lamb of God, Cannibal Corpse.
Oh my God.
Amon Amarth, and Slayer. And this was Slayer's last tour. This was 2019. And we went to Camden, New Jersey at the BT&T Pavilion, some shit. It's like an outside venue.
Were you there for the whole thing?
Oh, well, hell yeah. But I didn't remember fucking after. Once Lamb of God played a couple songs, they got to 5:12, and I was done for.
Were you in the lawn, or were you like in the pit? Or
I was in the pit, bro.
Whoa! For
Slayer? If I go to metal concerts, I'm always in the pit. I'm still young enough to get it on in the fucking pit. Well, we're fucking driving down. My buddy drinks these fucking beers, these Brazilian beers, Presidentes or whatever the fuck they are. and that's what he had in the cooler, and we were fucking drinking them on the way down. Yeah, one of us was supposed to be sober, but that didn't work out.
Of course.
We got there, and we're fucking, we're carpooling in the fucking waiting. We got there an hour early, and we're blaring fucking, Circle Jerks, Dead Kennedys, fucking punk music at a heavy metal concert in the parking lot, and all these fucking metalheads, they're going fucking crazy. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, Dead Kennedys, Circle Jerks, Black Flag, and it's turns into like a little mini mosh pit. And meanwhile, we're blaring the music out of our fucking car, and then the show was ready to go, and obviously you get to this stands, you order some alcohol, and my buddy got a fish bowl of Jack Daniels. Fish bowl. Sold fucking fish bowls of Jack Daniels.
Jesus.
And he was fucking passing around to people in the pit. We were drinking. Oh my God, my one buddy, Joe, he fucking went off. He got so fucking hammered, he started walking off wherever he went. He always disappears at the concerts, always. So me and fucking Lou were fucking moshing and everything, and then I'm shit-faced, throwing people down to the ground, and I got hit in the head. I don't know, someone must have fucking fell back, elbowed me in the head on an accident or something. And right there, I was fucking blacked the fuck out. And then I remember waking up in the bed of the fucking car, because we drove a truck. I had a little, I woke up in the bed of the truck. I must have walked down to the truck. And I at this time I'm hearing Slayer play.
Oh,
I'm like, fuck! That was their last tour. From here, they're probably not going to tour anywhere close after this, right? They're probably going to California or somewhere else.
I mean, I would imagine they'll tour again. They'll have another.
No, they that was their last tour. I think they did their last concert in California somewhere.
They always say that, man.
They always say that, and they come back. I mean, look at Ozzy. He retired 20 times. But
I don't know how Ozzy Osbourne's still alive.
I don't know, but I think he's so I don't think he's gonna last a few more years. He's in bad shape. He's got Parkinson's now and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So fucking. Eventually, everyone found their way down to the car, and here we are in fucking Camden, New Jersey. And anyone knows Camden, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's right on the border. It's fucking ghetto as shit. So all of us.
Everybody's shit-faced?
Everyone's shit-faced.
Uh-oh.
And we're like, fuck, we got to find a hotel. So we're looking on the phone.
Good luck.
And we were fucking fighting, seeing who's going to drive to the hotel. Because it was still, a couple mile drive to the nearest hotel. And we were, and this town, this city is all one ways. You go this way, it's only one way. This way is another way,
And the cops know.
Oh, yeah. And
way before Uber, I take it.
Some way, somehow, we fucking got to a hotel. I don't know how. And then fucking I woke up the morning. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I went to the fucking, I think there was a, 7-Eleven. And I fucking got some coffee and I refreshed.
I'm a wanderer. When there's a concert, I'm that guy. I wander.
Oh man, yeah.
I could just get bored, like just sitting there watching the band. I like to people watch and get caught up in the scene. I'm kind of a gypsy in that way.
Yeah, I was fucking something. I don't know what the fuck I was, but I was something there. But I was I love concerts, but I got to go with a couple people. I can't, or at least someone. I'm not going by myself. I'll end up in so much fucking trouble.
Yeah. Especially if you're drinking. I don't make good decisions when I'm drinking.
Yeah. I get lost. I'll fucking black out, and I'm walking down the street somewhere.
No good story. Every good story starts with alcohol, though. No good story starts with "so I was eating the salad."
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I mean, so let's be real here. I mean, we can look back on shit and say, man, wow, that was dumb. That was fucking, I can't believe I did that and I didn't get in trouble or whatever. But you know what? It makes for a great fucking story.
JK says Molly Cruz said they would never perform again. Yeah, and they shouldn't have. You see how that what's his name there? I forgot his fucking name.
But the drummer, Tommy Lee?
Not Tommy Lee, not Nikki Sixx.
The lead singer?
Yeah, what's his name?
Who gives a shit? He's queer.
Fuck. You see how bloated that motherfucker is?
Yeah, he's
fucking changed, boy. Holy cow.
I think
mean,
all those.
You get old, you get out of shape, whatever, but you could tell that's straight up drugs. He's bloated. He
like just
like
embrace it. Like look at Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones. That's kind of the way I want to go out, man.
Keith Richards, yeah.
He's just great. No, dude, he's like 85 years old.
I'm thinking of Keith Moon from the Who. Never mind.
Did Keith Moon die?
Oh yeah, Keith Moon, from the original drummer of the Who. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the bass player. Fuck, I forgot his name too. I think his name was John something. Great bass player. He fucking dead too.
Yeah, the Who were
Robert Daltrey are the only ones that are alive from the Who. Lead singer and the lead guitarist. Lead guitarist is actually a faggot. If you didn't know that, he's gay.
Oh, is he gay?
Oh yeah, he's a flamer.
Yeah. They put out some jams, man. They put out some during that whole British movement. They put out some phenomenal music.
Yeah, they were good. They were the first guys to really destroy their instruments.
Yeah.
But I was more of out of the Beatles, the Who, the Kinks, and the Rolling Stones. I was always more of a Rolling Stones guy.
Me too.
I like Mick Jagger, Jones. What was his name? Ron Jones.
Well, I mean, you look at the roots of their music. A lot of their roots from their music are like the Southern Delta blues.
Oh yeah, blues. Early rock and roll, Chuck Berry.
But they had an edge. They had an edge that they brought, and the Beatles are all about. Well, at least early on, it was like before the Yellow Submarine. It was like all love songs and such. Like my wife loves them.
Towards the end, from 67 to 70.
Like Sgt. Pepper's. I like their independent. I like Lennon by himself. I like my favorite Beatle. George Harrison. I actually like George Harrison out of everybody. That album he put out is awesome.
Yeah. George Harrison's good, but I like the Beatles towards the end. I mean that set they played on the rooftop, their last public show. Those are the songs, those style songs. Get Back, Don't Let Me Down.
Oh man, they're one of the greatest bands of all time. There's no There's no denying that. And
just the amount of stuff they've accomplished, I think they still hold the record in a lot of things, most record sales. And I mean, they were a band from 62 to 70. You know what I mean? If you want to get technical, 69 is pretty much their last show, January of 69. I believe it was January 20th when they played on the rooftop. That was their last public show. I think they put out the Let It Be album in 1969 at some point, but they didn't tour that album. So, so you figure they were a band for 6 to 7 years, 8 years maybe, and the amount of crap they have accomplished, and it's amazing. It really is. And I mean, artists still haven't topped them. I think like the three biggest artists that sold more records were, tied. It was Elvis, the Beatles, Michael Jackson. They really put out those bands. Those groups or bands or singers. Very hard to. A lot of great bands haven't even come close to their record sales and awards and stuff.
Yeah, I mean the Beatles were a machine, straight up.
Yeah.
It was just lightning in a bottle.
Oh yeah, they had some good stuff, and it was different.
But it was like my wife and I had a conversation the other day talking about concerts we've been to, and do you remember that group Nelson? There's these two blonde-haired guys. Well, she and her girlfriend that actually lives in Cape Coral, they went to see Nelson, and they were shrieking at them. You know how like teenage girls are like and they like flip out.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even I could never go to a concert like that.
Oh my god!
Like with all these girls screaming. Oh god, no.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then another band that I consider like the Beatles of America, because the Beatles were English. Well, no, Led Zeppelin were English too.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones.
I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, they're English. Yeah. But the Eagles, I think they're the Beatles of America, man. The Eagles, they were just an outstanding band with great musicians. I
Yeah,
mean, you
they
had
were.
Don Felder, you had fucking drawing blanks on names here. Joe Walsh.
The Big Lebowski kind of brought them down and put CCR up, in my opinion.
CCR too, absolutely. John Fogerty.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they're
Tom
Americana,
Fogerty.
and then it's like torches
Oh,
being
yeah.
passed, like, and then you go into the Allman Brothers, and
Allman
the Allman Brothers to me, that's my childhood. Like going up through Virginia was listening to the Allman Brothers' greatest hits.
Yeah, Allman Brothers are
And
good.
music will teleport you too.
Oh yeah,
that's what I love about it.
Oh yeah, the Creedence Clearwater Revival. They're one of the best American bands that's ever lived.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Steve Miller too. Steve Miller should be on that list.
Steve Miller's good. You know, he's kind of
his music just doesn't get old, man. Kind of like Van Morrison a little bit.
Yeah. You know, Steve Miller's good. You know, he has good hits and stuff. But I kind of, Steve Miller was kind of like that late 70s, kind of like where that soft rock, where you had those shitty bands like Kansas and Boston and UFO and
Boston's awesome, dude. I love Boston. But then again, I played a Chicago album the other day and was like, okay, this is too much. I got to take this off.
That's why punk came around. Because these kids were like, yo, what the hell happened to, like, you know, rock and roll? You know, don't get me wrong.
Sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went through, I like some punk music, but my punk music's all like East Coast, like Minor Threat.
Don't forget Grand Funk Railroad.
Grand Funk Railroad's awesome. But
I just didn't care for that late 70s kind of soft rock.
Oh, Skinner for sure.
Skinner's great, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. It went from like bands like Leonard Skinner, you know, great guitar solos, you know, had a little bit of heaviness to them, you know, and then you went from that to like, bam, Kansas. You know what I mean? Cheap Trick.
Well, that's it. That's like the bark. That's like when music started getting produced and they were trying to sell albums.
Oh, commercialized as a mofo, you know, and not only that, it was just that. It was a weird year. Don't get me wrong. Has Journey put out some great songs? Yes. Are they classics today? Will they ever get old? No. Cheap Trick, you know, REO Speedwagon have put out some good music, but it was just that typical shitty era of music, though. You know what I mean? They didn't.
Well, there was a documentary. There was a documentary I saw. I think it was on Netflix a while ago. It was about a band that was a house band for all the recording companies. I forget what the name is. Someone in the chat may know, but it was the same group of players that would all play, and they made the music for a lot of these albums.
Yeah.
Our team, like they were known as something within the inner circles of a name, and it's escaping me right now. But
you know,
I mean, it's just the nature of the music business.
Because, you know, I think the late 60s, early 70s was a great era for music. I mean, you had the Allman Brothers, Grateful Dead, Jimi Hendrix, Black Sabbath, early year Scorpions.
Ozzy,
you know. Ozzy was, you know, Black Sabbath until, you know, I think 81 when he put out his first album.
I mean, and then it segued into like the hair metal.
No, and from there, it jumped into that weird, like I said, REO Speedwagon, cheap, like the mid to late 70s was between soft
70s.
rock to that fucking disco shit. That was the
disco's
weird
the
era
worst.
of music. That was the
Deep
weird
Purple.
era. Yeah, Deep Purple. See, you know, late 60s,
Deep Purple's
early
awesome.
70s. They had, you know, with original with Richie Blackmore when they had you know, Hush and Child in Time. Those are outstanding.
Not Highway Star.
Highway Star, you know, heavy, you know, guitar. You got that organ in there and those lyrics. Good stuff. But that, like I said,
the Doors in there too.
Era was weird. And then the 80s the 80s were a great era because you had so much. You had, you know, you obviously had your pop.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna jump off real quick because I'm gonna spend some time with the wife. I'll let you guys keep at it though, okay?
Right on, Triple P. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, it's been working for 5 days, so it's my first day off. I'm gonna go chill out. Patriotic, it's a pleasure as always, and I'll see you next week, bro.
See you, man. Bye.
All right, take care, everyone. Have a great night.
See ya.
But the 80s were like all about like that was like the decade of the synthesizer.
Yeah,
Yep.
you had,
Like Duran and
yeah, but not only what the '80s brought, you had the original, like you had the early punk bands in the early '80s. You had glam metal, you had your thrash metal, you had your kind of like
there were
pop.
some niche.
Yeah, and then you had like your die hard like Tears for Fears, Depeche Mode, kind of cult, type of like rock, kind of gothic, kind of club music. There was so much variety in the '80s, and that's what made '80s a really really good year for music, because I could put on like 180 groups. I could put on a little bit of Michael Jackson to Depeche Mode, to Cult, to Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, and then a little bit of what happened?
Prince.
Prince, yeah, Purple Rain, it was a great song.
I could see you jamming out to Prince, Nickel.
Hell yeah, man.
I thought he was great.
Prince.
Oh hell yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with him. Purple Rain, the guy was an outstanding guitar player, and he was weird, but he definitely had something to him. You know what I mean? He was,
and he developed other artists. He had like 5 that used to be with him that went on to be megastars.
oh yeah, yeah.
Did you ever
Prince
see that Chappelle episode with Prince?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Classic.
You mean you remember that? If you look back at one of the Super Bowl shows, halftime show, Prince played, and it was raining. It was bad. It was a bad storm, and they were trying to cancel it. Like, you don't want to go out there. And he said, "Screw that. I'm going to play Purple Rain in the rain, right?" And if you watch that halftime show on YouTube, it's freaking amazing. So he's playing out of amps, input from the guitar, electrical. He's playing the guitar, and it's lightning, thundering, raining, and the rain's coming down. And he's playing Purple Rain. That was actually awesome to watch. It was really cool.
And you had Robert Palmer in the 80s too. He was huge.
What happened?
Robert Palmer.
Yeah, oh yeah. The 80s were a great year, I grew up on 80s music, from my parents, and listening from groups, all types of, groups from the 80s. Matter of fact, the other day I was just listening to Men at Work.
Oh yeah.
And they were a different kind of, they're like a rock kind of pop, but they had some great songs.
I love Toto.
What happened? Toto? Yeah, Toto.
I love Toto.
Have you? They came out.
So I've heard a few. I heard a few good songs I haven't heard recently. A band called Rainbow, Stone Cold. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
That song rocks, man.
I got your greatest hits. Yeah. That's also Deep Purple. Basically, everybody in Deep Purple was Rainbow.
Exactly. Richie
Hold on.
Blackmore left Deep Purple and started Rainbow, and that's Dio's first band. Dio was with Rainbow.
Ronnie James Dio?
Ronnie James Dio was with Rainbow. Then he left Rainbow and went with Black Sabbath when Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward kicked Ozzy Osbourne out of Black Sabbath because of his drug use, and he was just so fucked up. That's when Dio took over Black Sabbath from 78 till I think 81. And then eventually Ronnie James Dio went on his own with songs like Holy Diver and shit like that. Dio,
Dio has a following, man. Like, people are passionate about him.
Oh yeah, they argue who's better, Dio or Ozzy Osbourne. I'm always going to pick Ozzy because Ozzy's the godfather of metal. He started.
I'll go with Ozzy, but those Dio fans, they are fanatical.
Oh yeah,
you got to listen. You got to listen to "Man from the Silver Mountain." You got to listen. He does that. It's a great song.
Now, "Man of the Silver Mountain." Who did that?
That's Dio. Dio's the singer.
Yeah. I knew he's the singer. I just didn't know under what band did that.
It was Rainbow.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Actually, yeah, JK is actually right. Dio did start in a band called Elf. Elf was his first band. Then from there, went to Rainbow. And then Rainbow to Black Sabbath, and then Black Sabbath to Ronnie James Dio. Yeah, Dio's great. He's definitely one of the one of the guys in metal, you know, one of the greatest voices in metal. But then
Oh
you
yeah.
got bands like Iron Maiden, man. You know, Iron Maiden. What a freaking band to see in concert. And what I love about Iron Maiden is that, you know, I've never seen a band like, what's the word I'm looking for? But like, there's 3 guitar players in Iron Maiden, and they all work off each other like perfectly. Like one guy will do a lick, and then like the other one comes in at perfect time, and just, you know, they're hitting the same notes at the same. It's amazing.
I've never really listened too much to Iron Maiden.
Oh my God, there's some great tunes from Iron Maiden. There's a lot of good bands out there, man. I mean, like I said, the '80s were freaking awesome, and even the '90s. The '90s were
Starship.
good, you know?
Starship. They had a lot of hits.
Yeah. Yep, Starship. Yeah. It's good music, and now look, today we got shit.
Yeah, you got thieves. They just take the music somebody else had and then change the words.
Yeah. I mean, the closest thing you get to music today, and this is the only really modern music I listen to today, is the country stations. You know what I mean? That's it, because at least I'm getting the real voice. I'm getting some guitar. I'm getting some slide. You know, I'm getting some drums. It ain't auto-tune. It ain't fake. Now, and I've noticed, like, this, I've been liking this a lot. The last year, there have been really good country artists coming out that's like bringing back that old country, like the good old outlaw country with like Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, you know, freaking George Jones,
Johnny Cash.
great Johnny Cash, you know,
Waylon Jennings,
yup, you know, great, you know, legends, you know, outlaws.
Johnny Paycheck,
yup. A lot of great George Strait, you know, he's more newer, but, you know, great country artists, right? And you got these new guys like Cody Jinks, Chris Crockett, Tyler Childers, you know, Chris Stapleton, and they're kind of bringing back that old school outlaw, you know, fucking badass country music, and I'm like, wow, you know, people are starting to, you know, get away from that, like, because for a while, you know, the last like 10, 15 years, country went from like kick ass to like pop, like a bunch of pussies in boots and torn up jeans singing supposed country songs.
Yeah, I couldn't tell the difference.
What happened?
I couldn't tell the difference, you know, for a while there. I said, it's, you know, there was no difference between pop and country.
Oh yeah, exactly. It was it definitely fell off, you know what I mean? But now I'm seeing a lot of it come back, and it's actually pretty good, you know. I mean, look at the new Jason Aldean song, you know, Try It in a Small Town. That's a badass song. And I mean, it's so badass that they banned the damn song from, you know,
radio.
They tried to ban it from radio. They banned it from country TV, you know, it's CMT. And, you know, that's saying something. So, you know, yeah. But, you know, I listen to old shit, man. All the music I listen to is from the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s. Shit, I even listen to music in the 50s, bro. I love some Chuck Berry, Elvis, Fats Dominoes. I like it all, dude. Very diversified in my music.
I like funk myself, but that's dead now.
What, good old funk?
Yeah.
I like some James Brown. Sly and the Family Stone. You know, what's it, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Good old, that, you know, that nice bass groove and stuff. Nice snares. It's all tight.
We had disco for about 3 years. We had about for 3. Europe had it a lot longer than we did, but we only had it. It was only popular here for about 3 years.
Yeah.
ABBA.
You know, listen, people can say what they can say about ABBA, but you know what? They're a freaking talented group. and they were one of the most popular, if not the most popular group in the late 70s, early 80s. That, ABBA really dominated the music industry in those years. But they were an outstanding group. I like quite a bit of song. I could put on an ABBA album and listen to the whole album without skipping a song. But I have to be in the mood for it. I go through phases. All right, I'm in a metal kick. I'm listening to Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Megadeth, and then, one week I'm listening to Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. Got some reggae, Toots and the Milans. I'm all over the place. Should I even listen to some Pavarotti, some opera, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin?
Yep.
You kind of you go by your mood, right? That's what's so great about music.
I'm never in the mood. I'm never in the mood for Taylor Swift. So.
Oh no. That's why I'm never in the mood for the shit they put out to rap and hip hop. I mean, there was some good rap artists back in the 90s. I mean, there were some good ones.
Run DMC was really good when they started.
Yeah, like the Wu-Tang Clan, Old Dirty Bastards. I can listen to shit like that. Biggie Smalls, Tupac. I can listen to some songs I like, but I just it's not my favorite. But music, man, it's just it's great because people kind of relate to it, and whatever they're feeling, they put on a song. All right, this kind of relates to me, and I feel like it brings people closer. It helps with stress. It helps with people's feelings. There's a song to go with everything, right? And music is awesome. So I like it all. It just depends what I'm feeling that day, what I prefer, what I want to listen to. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of country music lately.
What happened to Emerald? I don't
know. I just looked now and he's not there. Maybe he fell asleep. Oh, Silver Heist. What's up, Silver Heist? All the punk you mentioned. Black Flag, Circle Jerks. Oh, yeah. Good old punk music. Yeah. Misfits, Ramones, Sex Pistols, Dead Kennedys. Dead Kennedys is one of my favorites. A lot of great punk bands out there. I always say true punk died in 1986 with the Dead Kennedys. After that, then you kind of got Green Day and, kind of like pop punk. But punk was all about attitude, punching a guy right in the face,
Oh, Emerald's phone died. There, Craig is saying.
Oh, that's could be it. What's my phone at? 14%. I got a little bit. What's up, B2? Craig? How you guys all doing today? So Nickel, we haven't talked much about what you're stacking. What are you after? What do you like?
I just got a bunch of nickel. Copper. I like copper. I like nickel. I like platinum. Gold. Well, I don't really like gold, but I get gold. Silver. And I do like rhodium. If it ever drops enough, I will probably get back into rhodium. I was in rhodium and I sold when it got real high. So
rhodium.
Yeah.
What's that going for?
It's down to around 6,000, I think, right now.
And what do they go by? The ounce?
Yeah.
So 6,000 an ounce.
It got to 28,000, and Sal kept his. I'm going, why would you not sell at 28,000? You can always buy it back later when it sinks. He should have sold.
Yeah. So you can't have that physical, correct?
Yeah, you can get physical.
Oh yeah.
Bars and coins.
I don't know much about rhodium, but you said it's right now at 6,000 per ounce.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's under quite a bit under 28,000, but rhodium and the metals, it's like I equate it to Bitcoin and that thing. It's like it could get to 75,000 even. I mean, the right conditions, but it could also drop below 1,000.
So what's your favorite metal? Because it looks like you're really diversified in precious metals and all types of metals. What metal I'm guessing maybe nickel? Is that your favorite metal?
I'm going to say I'm pretty loyal to silver. I started with silver. I'll say silver and nickel.
Silver and nickel. And why is it that you're stacking nickel? You know, I'm not, downing it or anything. I just don't know much about nickel.
I like the idea. I don't like the idea, but I think they're going to push these EVs on everybody. And like I said, with liberals, they jump out of the plane and worry about the parachute later.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to go along forward with it. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But they're going to need a lot of nickel for that industry. So.
Oh, so that could drive up the price.
And they're going to need a lot of copper for that industry. And they're going to need a lot of lithium for that industry.
Yeah. And I remember not too long ago, I was watching Silver Dragons and we did a video, start stacking nickel. And people for a while, they were buying a crap load of nickels, 5-cent nickels. And I guess there's, I don't know if they stopped using nickel in nickels. I think it's kind of like the same as pennies now.
I think it's 80. I think 82. I think pre-82.
Pre-82, and people were buying, were taking all these nickels made out of nickel and holding them and hoarding them because of, I forgot the reason why, but it's probably exactly what you said. The price going up.
Yeah. Now Canadian nickels, they're 99% nickel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Except for I think like 82 and on, or is it 83? I'm not for sure which one, but after that, they're made out of different stuff now. I think one year they made them out of stainless steel.
So what do you buy nickel in raw form? How do you?
I have it in product. I have it in bars, and I have it in coins.
So where do you buy nickel bars and stuff? Where do they sell them on bullion sites?
No, you have to go to eBay, and generally speaking, it's when it's at new highs and when everybody comes out of the woodwork and tries to sell it. So then I usually buy it at spot, and then I get it, and then I just sit on it. It's a long-term thing.
Exactly.
It's even longer term than silver, probably. So
absolutely.
And that's why people get mistake to get in the silver. I'll be rich tomorrow. That's not that you can't. If that's an investor and that's what you're thinking, if you're the people that are investing in it, they're making a huge mistake and they're going to get out for long because.
Oh, exactly. It's not for investing and make money quick type of thing. It's for wealth preservation, a hedge against inflation, a good savings, and obviously you're always going to come out on top if you hold it long term. Yes, you will, but it's not going to make you a millionaire. It's not going to make you rich. It's just protecting you, and that's why we stack it. But some people get the wrong idea. I mean, it happens all the time when silver and gold, and metals shoot up. That's where people go crazy, and you're seeing new phases at local coin shops, and they're buying and buying and buying. It's going to hit 50 tomorrow. I got to get it now, and then they realize, oh, it dipped, and then they lose interest and they sell it. Yeah, I've seen that happen many a times. People getting, and it's always when it shoots up.
Or they put too much in at the beginning. They put too much in, and then they need money for something else, and then they have to sell. Exactly. And it's after it's gone down, and so they take a loss. But most of my silver I got for $4 an ounce, so I'm not going to lose it.
Now, are you still stacking silver now, or are you kind of?
Yeah. I mean, if I see silver in something, and on the auctions, I'll go ahead and pick it up. I'm looking gold. I look for nickel. I look for gold. I look for silver. I look for platinum. I'm not much into palladium. I never have been a big palladium fan. I've only owned. I had 1 ounce of palladium. I had a maple palladium, 1 ounce. I had that, and I've had rings that were palladium. But I never was big into palladium. Never went heavy into it.
Yeah. But when you go with silver, what do you usually do? Bars, coins, rounds, or just whatever's cheap?
I get sterling silver jewelry. I will get coins, like constitutional mostly is what I get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I look for. I'm not buying eagles because of the premiums, and I'd rather have, if I'm going to get bars, it'd probably want it be 1 ounces. So. I'm not a 5 and 10 ounce bar fan like a lot of people. Most people love the 5s, but
yeah, I'm a 10 ouncer and kilo bar myself. And for 1 ounce, for smaller, I buy, obviously fractional, I buy my junk 90, and then for if I want to get 1 ounces, I go with the coins. I go with government back. But listen, everyone likes to stack differently. Everyone likes, some people like 10 ounces, some like 5 ounces. There's no, I can't tell somebody, hey, you're stacking wrong. You know what I mean? Even though I might disagree with whatever they're stacking, that doesn't mean they're necessarily stacking wrong. What I see as stacking wrong is if you're overpaying. That's stacking wrong. But if you're getting silver or gold, even though if it might not be as liquid than another item, which I'm big with, I'm always big with liquidity. I always say liquidity. But if you're getting silver or gold next to spot or at spot or just at a really good deal, I can't say you're wrong. You're right. You're honest. You're actually making a really good decision buying any metal close to spot or at spot or, at a really good deal. And I know there's a lot of true, and I call them true stackers, because if they can get, like my buddy Bullion Baby, I don't know if you've been around in the community when he had a channel, but he was that type of guy. Didn't care what it was. If I can get silver for spot or a few cents over, $1 over at any good deal, I'm buying it. I don't care if it's coins, rounds, 5 ounce bars, 1 ounce bars, sterling silver, jewelry. I don't care. If I can get it cheap, I'm going to buy it. And, honestly, that's not a wrong way to stack. That's a smart way to stack metals. Getting it cheap. But,
or trading. If you trade, you could probably get a better deal. If you trade somebody else for another metal, you probably get the best deal doing that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Silver Ice asked the question, will people who bought 36, 38, and 43 Silver Eagles buy 29 Silver Eagles? If I bought Eagles at 40 or 30 something dollars, I would definitely be buying as much as I possibly can at this price, so I could try to cancel out the fucking crazy markups I paid, a year ago. So yeah, I would hope so. That's what I would try to do if I, if I was spending crazy money on, if I was stacking Eagles when the premiums were that high, and right now they dropped, I'd be buying as much as I can now to kind of lower that, kind of.
Yeah, the average would go lower.
Yeah, that's absolutely, because I know some people in the community that, for example, I love Eagles, I do, but I turned away from Eagles for almost 2 years because of the premiums. I said, just screw that. Why would I do that? I can get, for the tube I'm going to pay, the price I'm going to pay for a tube of Eagles, 20 ounces, I can get a kilo bar and a 5 ounce silver bar, almost 40 ounces. I can double it. So why would I do that? Yeah, Eagles are liquid, but I'm not going to do that. It's, that's just crazy. But I know some people, regardless of the price of silver Eagles, they bought them. You know what I mean? I had to get Eagles. And listen,
I've always liked the maple better than the eagle.
I love silver maples, and that's what I started stacking silver maples 3 years ago. But, I would buy a tube here, buy a tube there. But once I said no more to Eagles in November 2021, that's when I went full-blown maples, and I was buying tubes a day. I'm not tubes a day, but like tubes here, 3 tubes here, 1 tube there. I was, and I realized, I'm like, how are these cheaper? These are 4.9s fine. There's like 4 security features. There's the mint shield on maples from 2018 to present day, which means no milk spots. The quality, they're just beautiful coins, and they're not that far off with liquidity like the American Silver Eagle. I mean, guys who always stacked American Silver Eagles, their second choice most of the time were always maples, because, all right, Canada's right next door, you know. It's close enough to the eagle, right? It's the next best thing. And, you know, that's what I did, you know, and maples became my favorite silver coin. I mean, yeah, now I'm buying a lot of eagles again because of the premiums. I want to take advantage of it. But despite, you know, how much I love the eagle, I think the maple has the edge over the eagle. And even when the prices drop, say, below the maple, I still think the maple will always have the edge because of the quality, the security features. It's just a well-done coin. And I've never heard anyone talk bad about a maple. It's a really, really beautiful silver coin. And, I mean, the price, you just can't beat it. But I'd have to put both those coins, eagles and maples, as top bullion coins. I was stacking Britannias there for a secondary coin during the 2 years while I was stacking maples.
And
but
you got
I
milk
turned
spots.
away. What happened?
Milk spots.
Yeah, I turned away from the Britannias because of the milk spots. And that was just recently, like literally within this last month, I said, all right, because I bought another tube of Britannias, and I opened them up, and they were all milk spotted. I had one coin that had very little milk spotting, but it was all milk spotted. And I'm like, listen, so I just spent almost $4 over spot for this tube. And as soon as I get it, if I were ever to sell it, I just lost money because I'm going to get spot for it. Exactly spot. The local coin shop is not going to pay me over spot for that quality. They're not. They're going to give me spot price. So that premium just went out the door. Now, if I were to buy the maples, which were the same price as the Britannias, I know for a fact I wouldn't have got milk spots. And yeah, obviously the premium is going to come down a little bit. You know what I mean? They're not going to buy it back the same premium you paid. But I'm still going to get over spot. You know what I mean? But with any coins that are milk spotted, you know, they buy them for spot. And, you know, if you go to a local coin shop and you're looking for good deals and you say, hey, you got any spotted coins? They'll sell them to you for like, I don't know, 25 cents, 50 cents, maybe $1 over spot. So they're still making money on them. But yeah, I was like, wow, you know, why did I do that? And I lost money. You know, I sold. I was like, you know what, screw it. I went through all my Britannia tubes and I'm picking. And all said and done, at all the tubes, I was able to fill one tube with coins that had no milk spots on them or that weren't as bad. And I was like, you know, screw this. I sold them all. I sold all my Britannias and I took the money and I've been buying, you know, maples, more eagles. But I lost money on those Britannias because of the milk spotting. So I just said, you know, screw it. No more Brits until they fix their problems. And I remember kangaroos, fillies, coins like that used to be really bad with milk spotting. Like really, really bad. Especially Krugerrands. I mean, Krugerrands are terrible, but the Britannias, I mean, their quality has just been getting worse. And it's a shame because it's such a beautiful coin. The design, the security features, I mean, it's got a lot of things going for it, but I don't like milk spots on my silver coin. I don't like milk spots in general.
I got a lot of Mexican silver, so I like them.
That's beautiful. I love Libertads, and I wish they were at a price that made sense for stacking. And, you know, right now, I'll get a tube every year for collecting, you know, because, I mean, the 2023 silver Libertads are on pre-order right now on some sites, and they're in the range from $37 to $40 an ounce. And that's just ridiculous, right? And that's like $900 something a tube. And that's very expensive. But I wish they made more of them so they could be more of a stackable coin. But they're a beautiful coin. They have a lot of things going for it. It's just the price really, really throws me off.
And I stay away from pandas. I don't want nothing to do.
I don't want none of those either. I mean, I can't take the beauty away from the coin. It is a beautiful coin, but I don't like the fact that it's China. I don't, and listen, I can't say much about that either because, I mean, you walk into our houses, more than half the shit we have is made from China. And even things we can't help. I mean, we'll try to buy American, and then there's a small sticker say made in America, but then there's an even smaller sticker say assembled in China. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I can't really use that argument. Oh, well, they're Chinese. Well, half the shit we buy is Chinese, and we can't even help that because some things they only make in China for us. But not only do I not like from China, I don't like the fact that they're charging a premium. It's one thing when it was a full ounce. Now it's only 30 grams. So you're also paying more. You're paying the same price, and you're losing a gram or so of silver because they're 30 grams. I think they started doing that in 2015 or some shit. So that really turns my head away. But it is a beautiful design. It is a beautiful coin. It's just the cons outweigh the pros, so I just stay away from them.
And they're also the most counterfeited.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they should name it, China counterfeit, because counterfeits for the world around the world is from China, 90% of them, and they're getting better too. They're getting better. Some of those.
And the number one silver bar that gets faked is the Perth Mint 1 ounce silver bars. There's a ton of
exactly. The Perth Mint is actually one of the most faked mints out there. Especially their gold bar. I always tell people watch out. Well, in general, watch out and where you buy. Make sure everything's real. Test your gold, test your silver. Just buy from reputable dealers, but stay away from those Perth Mint fractional gold bars in the cards. They are faked ridiculously. Like it's crazy. I got burned on a few, and you're getting an ASE gold card, and an ASE you wouldn't think it's gonna be fake, right? It's sealed. It didn't look like it was tampering. They nailed those bars, and there's a lot of fakes from the Perth. A lot of fakes. Even Sunshine Mint in Silvertown, I have to say they're probably the most faked silver bars. Sunshine and Silvertown bars. A lot of fakes. But if you know what you're looking for, and you have the right material to, test your stuff, like anywhere from the pocket pinger, or if you want to spend the money and get a Sigma metal verifier. And I mean,
I got a Sigma.
They're the best, exactly. Now, some people it might not make sense if you don't have as much, you don't stack as much, you're maybe not as crazy with stacking, or you don't have a really big stack. All right, you can test it in other ways. But if you're buying a lot and you plan on stacking for years, it pays to spend the $900 to $2,500 on a Sigma. You can get 3 different ones. There's the mini. Well, there's the original, which you can get brand new, anywhere from $900 to $1,300. Some come with a case. Some come with like the wands, which I recommend. Buy the ones with the wands. Then you can buy the mini, which I think you also have to buy the tablet that goes with it. I think that's like $1,400 or $2,000. And then there's the Sigma Pro, which is like $2,500, which is it's really cool. But as long as, even like the original's fine. That's what I got. And it's a lifesaver. I mean, it really is. If you're stacking crazy and you plan on stacking for a long time, having that security, investing in a good safe, investing in a way to test your metals, is definitely a good thing to do. That's what I did. Once I was serious, I'm invested in a good safe. What happened?
You can get metal analyzers now for about 15 to 18,000, and I know that sounds like a lot, but they used to be like 100,000.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going that crazy. I it was bad enough for me to fork out the money for the Sigma because I'm like, oh wow, that's a kilo silver bar at the time, But now I knew, I'm happy that I did that. But that people got to get over that, especially if they know they're going to be stacking for a while and they're going to invest a lot. That's $800 that you could probably save yourself from buying counterfeits if you ever, especially if you deal with a lot of peer-to-peer or on groups. There's a lot of bad dealers out there that you have to watch out for. And, that saves you from getting burnt. And, it's just good to have. It's peace of mind. And from time to time, fake items come through the local coin shop. If you're one guy and you're manning a whole shop, because most local coin shops, it's only one guy, right? You have the owner.
Yep. Tim got a bad one. He sold it to somebody, had to give him another one.
Exactly. Yeah, Tim from Yankee. He's one guy. He's got no help. It's him. It's just him. Like my coin shop. It's just him and his old father, and his old father can't do much. He's like 90 years old. But they're getting people walking in and selling boatloads and stuff, and especially guys coming in with like bags of junk silver, right? You can't go through all of that. Now, it's very unlikely to really find, fake junk silver. I mean, it happens, but it's not many people are faking junk silver, right? Unless it's a key date. But not everything they can test because there's just so much, and it's one guy. So there's going to be times you'll probably find a fake. You'll probably get hit. And most likely, your coin shop owner will make good on it. If he doesn't, I have an uproar, but they'll make good on it. But still, a lot of times, the only way you're going to find out if it's fake is if you have a way to test it. And I mean, the scale, that's one way, but fakes gotten so good that the scale doesn't help. Gravity test, if you don't do it right, you're not going to find out. You have the ping tester, which is a great way. You're going by sound, but at the same time, too, with the ping tester, you can only test up to like 2-ounce coins. You can't do anything bigger than that. And then you have the magnet test, right? But they're able to fake that too. They've gotten coins that could, pass that test. So it pays, in my opinion, to invest in a Sigma. And for all the people that want one but are kind of deciding if they should buy one and spend that money, because they're probably using the ounce, ratio like me, like, oh, well, that's a half ounce of gold right there. That's 4 10-ounce silver bars, right? Well, there's ways you can do it too. Like, for example, PayPal, right? This doesn't go by, you don't get charged late fees. It doesn't go by your credit. It doesn't go, it doesn't affect you one way. They don't charge you interest. And it's called PayPal Pay in 4. And it's awesome. It really is. So say you want to buy a Sigma. You go on eBay. You check out through PayPal. On your PayPal, they'll give you an option, PayPal Pay in 4. And say it's $1,000 payment, right? It's $1,000. You can split that $1,000. PayPal pays the seller, and you pay PayPal. They split that payment in 4 every 2 weeks. So obviously, once you make the purchase through PayPal Pay in 4, you'll have to pay the first week that day, right? And then from there on out, you don't get charged for another 2 weeks from there, 2 weeks from there. So it's like a month and a half. And figure $1,000, you're paying almost like, I don't know, $275, $280 a month, $300 a month, $200 or $300 every 2 weeks. So if you don't want to lay out all the money right off the bat, that's a good way, to split the cost so it doesn't maybe hurt you as much, or you're not putting out all the money, and maybe it makes you feel better. But I wouldn't do it if it charged interest or if a late fee or went by your credit, because at that point you might as well go with a credit card. But PayPal Pay in 4, it's a great way of doing something if you don't want to put out all the money right away.
Mad Mexican 68, he wants to know your opinion on 10-ounce silver bars.
Oh, they're the best, man. I love 10-ounce silver bars. I think they're the sweet spot of the silver stacking community. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's a very, you know, in the middle size. It's very, very popular. There's many varieties in 10-ounce silver bars, and it really adds weight up quick. And the best part is, it's one of the cheapest ways to add silver to the stack. It's cheaper than rounds. It's cheaper than government-backed coins. Obviously, the higher in size you go, the cheaper it is. But you also got to realize, 10-ounce bars are very liquid. 100-ounce silver bars aren't, because there's not many people that can drop $2,500 at a time and buy a 100-ounce bar off you. But
don't they make those? Don't they make those actually stackable with grooves?
10-ounce bars?
I think so. Don't they make them where
they have Scottsdale stackers, for
Yeah.
example, which is one of my favorite 10-ounce bars to stack. You can stack them. They actually have grooves, and they fit perfectly. It's like a Lego.
Like Legos.
Yeah,
I call them Lego bars.
Those are really cool bars to stack. Now, those are a little premium. There's a little extra premium on them, but yeah, I think it's worth it. I love Scottsdale stackers. They're a great bar to stack. Academy 10-ounce bars are also made by Scottsdale. Same thing, they're stackable. And then you have the Patriot bars, which are also made by Scottsdale. They're stackable. There's like 3 stackable 10-ounce bars you can get from Scottsdale. Really cool.
When I started, there was like 2 companies that made bars. Engelhart, and there was one other one.
Johnson Matthey?
Yeah. Now, theirs looked like a traditional bar.
Yeah.
JM.
Yeah.
But the other ones were like, squared, like a square. And and that was it. When I first got in, I couldn't buy. There was no other people making bars at that time.
Yeah.
And they had 10,000 ounce bars when I first got in.
Oh yeah,
you can't get them anymore.
The Comex bars, those industrial silver bars.
All I know is, I said I wouldn't mind having it, because with the money to invest, but I said I can't pick the gosh dang thing up, I can only imagine what it would cost to ship it.
Oh man, that's like a damn motor in a car. That thing. My LCS had a 1,000-ounce Comex bar, right, in the shop, and it was like in a, he had it laying on the floor when you walk in, just like a piece to show off. It wasn't for sale. I think it was his. I said, "You ain't worried? Someone's gonna come by and grab it?" He's like, "Yeah, pick it up."
I know people that used somebody I saw it on. I think they brought it to the road show. They brought a 1,000-ounce silver bar, Engelhart, and they wanted to know what it was worth. They had no idea, silver, ounce, pound. They didn't have any idea. The guy they got it from, they bought it from, used it for a doorstop.
That's one way to do it. Yeah, I'm a fan of vintage bars. I love old school Engelhart bars. I love old school Johnson Matthey, A-Mark. I love vintage. That's one of my guilty pleasures and for collecting. I'm mostly a stacker, but when I go to collect, I like my vintage. I like, my slab Morgans. I like old school U.S. commemorative half dollars. I have a touch of collector in me, but vintage, I love vintage. I love vintage. I was actually not too long ago, I was on a kick with vintage Johnson Matthey kilo bars. I was buying the hell out of those.
Nope, I don't. I just don't collect. I don't get attached to it. The mistake I made was baseball cards. If I'd have sold them in the mid '80s, I could have made a killing on them. And I thought they was going to go higher, and I held off. So I don't get it. I won't get attached to my silver or gold. If it hits a certain price, I'll be selling. So.
I mean, I say I'm attached to things, but you know what? I've noticed if the price is right, it's gone. You know what I mean? It's like, my house. I just moved into my new house that I built. If someone offered me, $100,000 over, that I could put in my pocket, it's gone. I'll sell it. Hell yeah, gone. I'm like that with anything. Not sentimental things, obviously, but if the price is right, I'll sell it all. I'll sell everything. I don't care. and I'll just buy it back, you know,
when it goes down.
when it goes down. Exactly. That's it. Yep. I'm the same way.
That's what I tried to explain to Yankee. He didn't agree. So that's why I told him. I said, if silver jumped to 300 overnight, I'm saying you wouldn't sell that. Take the money, and then you know it's when it gets to 300, it's probably going to go down at least 50% soon.
At the same time, if silver did hit, like say we wake up tomorrow and silver's $100 an ounce, there's bigger problems going on in the world. I probably wouldn't sell because there's probably something serious wrong. You know, something bad's happening, and I would probably, you know, maybe I would sell a quarter of it and be like, all right, let's test the waters here. If everything goes well, nothing's really changed with the economy, but just silver just jumped up for some reason, you know, yeah, okay. But if I knew there was going to be consequences after I sold it and I'd be screwed, I wouldn't do it. So if I know I'm okay, yes. But when I'm talking like, say I got I bought this MS67 high-grade Morgan dollar, you know, beautiful toner, rainbow tone, and I'm really attached to it. And say I spent $1,500. Someone came up and said, I'll give you $2,500 and it's worth for me to sell, I'll sell it. I'll sell it, and I'll try to find that coin again, and maybe it's cheaper. And if it's not, all right, wasn't meant to be. I had my chance. I bought it. I made some money, whatever. But, yeah, no, if silver jumped up tomorrow at a good price, yeah, I would definitely, you know, test the waters. I'd sell some of it just to see how everything going, but I wouldn't flat out sell it all. And God forbid if something, you know, bad was happening. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, you see how silver's been playing for these last years. I mean, silver should be way more than what it is now. And if it were to jump up to $50 to $100 tomorrow, there's something wrong. Something seriously wrong going on.
Well, I think it will get to a new all-time high eventually because I think the supply level will be the way it is. I think they'll have to let it go just to get more silver in the marketplace.
Yeah. JK says Yankee is saving his to barter with. See, now that's where me and Yankee disagree, and other stackers like Yankee. I notice Yankee stacks for, you know, he's more of a prepper stacker. He stacks for like an SHTF situation. I don't stack my metals for a world-ending scenario, an SHTF scenario, living off the grid. Oh, we're all screwed. I don't stack it for that. I stack it strictly for, you know, hedge against inflation, savings, wealth preservation, you know, a backup. I don't stack it for going to trade my silver dimes for, you know, a dozen eggs, because I know if that ever happens, 98% of the world has no idea of silver bullion or gold bullion. And people in a situation like that are going to want skills, they're going to want food, they're going to want water, they're going to want shelter. They're not going to want your mercury dimes, they're not going to want your silver quarters, they're not going to want your fractional or any of your metals, because it's not going to do them any good. They're going to want to survive. And the only way you're going to survive is food, water, protection, tools, skills, bartering with skills and trading. And that's what I do. I stack food, I stack water, I stack ammunition. That's my way of prepping. But my metals has nothing to do with an SHTF or bartering, because I know it's, you know.
That would be at least 6 months later for that to happen.
Exactly. The only way we would use metals in a situation like that is during the rebuild. If somehow we formed some type of, you know, local government, right, and tried to restart. We're like like they said, a great reset. And we try to, you know, do what our founding fathers did, you know, start a country again and fix everything. Yes, then eventually we'll need to find a new currency, and we're going to go back to gold and silver like we've done for thousands of years. You know, we've been trading it for thousands of years. It's always been wealth. Yes, that's when we'll use it. But my point is, it's going to take, if we go into a full-blown I am legend, day after tomorrow scenario, are you really going to be lugging bags of silver everywhere you go? Bags of gold?
Oh no, that's what I've always said. These people say you got to get a bug out bag and take off somewhere. I'm going, that's the craziest thing you can do, because you're going to have more supplies at your house. You should fortify your house and fight there, not take a chance of meeting the gang on the way and getting everything taken, and then not nobody being back at the house when it's taken over then. So,
exactly. So that's what we do. I've been buying a year's supply of food every year from Ready Wise or Angus Farms. I buy from multiple companies. My Patriots. I'm always buying ammunition and good security. And I've made a good connection with my neighbors in the community here, and I know who does what. Like my one neighbor, probably a mile down the road, she's a nurse. So if something were to happen, I can go to her, and so you get to know your community, your surroundings, you fortify your security, you try to plan ahead. And that's what I do. So I said to my wife, God forbid something were to happen, we could stand ground at our house for quite a bit, maybe a few years. Now, if it came down to, radiation, we're screwed. You know what I mean? We'd have to find some underground bunker or get some type of really good filtration system in the house to, but, I'm not a millionaire. I can't go buy some filtration system, but, yeah, we would be okay. But there's going to come a point where your food's going to run out, your water's going to run out, and you're going to have to leave to find water, find different shelter. Or even too, in a situation like that, they're going to find out, oh, they still got power. They got a generator, they got gas, they got food. How are they've been there for a year now. How are they able to stay still? And then you become a target. You know what I mean? So it's really hard. You try to plan ahead, you try to make scenarios, but we really wouldn't. I don't think any of us, no matter how much prepped we are, would really be prepared when something like that happens. People claim and say, "Well, I'll be prepared," but the amount of stress you're putting on your mind, your body, that is not usually trained for a situation like that, and going off the grid when us people have been so spoiled for years, with technology and everything, it would really, really, really cause some, people to go crazy. So you try to be prepared, but we don't really know what's going to happen if it happens. But I honestly think it's not going to happen in our lifetimes, or in our kids' lifetimes. It might not even happen, but at least I can say I'm prepared if something like that were to happen. But I guess you could say I'm mostly prepped for, for like natural disasters, a blackout. I remember the blackout in 2004. I was a little kid, but in New York, it was a blackout for like 2-3 weeks. New York City was blacked out. It was terrible.
Or the economy gets shut down, or there's a virus that's made out to be worse than it is, and
a war. A war breaks out on homeland. Which it's highly doubtful, but it could happen. You never know. EMP attack. You try to be prepared, but we don't know what would happen in that situation. It's a scary situation to think about, though, because you don't know. Like I said, anything could happen, and that's why I take my chance. I try to be prepared, and if God forbid I never use it, all right, well, I got extra ammo, I got extra food.
Are you in New York?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, especially you, because New York, it could get bad. It could get bad in a hurry, I think.
Now, luckily, I'm not in New York City.
You're upstate New York?
I'm upstate New York in the country.
Yeah, they're more conservative than the.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for New York City and the 8 million people that live in New York City, New York would be a red state. my county, Orange County, New York, is a conservative county. The county, you know, executive or whatever the fuck he's called, Steve Newhouse, he's conservative. Our county sheriff's conservative. It's a Republican county. So we're good to go. You know, Trump flags all over, diehard Americans, patriots all over. I mean, fucking people in this county, they think they're from fucking Texas. Cowboy hats, lifted trucks, fucking boots, farms, tractors. Every fucking mile you drive, there's a John Deere dealership and a Dollar General. It's country out here. But if I lived in the city, I'd be fucked. I'd have no land, no property, noise. I'd have to worry about my kids getting brainwashed or not even coming home. I don't know how people live there, man. I do not know. Or any city in that matter. Like a city, I've been used to the country, man. And I could never, even like the little city down the road from me, like 15 minutes down the road. And I mean, it's not a huge city. I'd say there's probably a population of 50,000, maybe 100,000. I couldn't even live in there. You know, I like to have my privacy, my own land, away from people, and just, there's nothing better than that, you know. I'm spoiled, I guess.
No, I do not want to live in a bigger city. New York City, San Francisco, Houston. I would not want to live in any of those.
Yeah, Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago.
Oh, Chicago would be a nightmare. I wouldn't live. DC or Chicago, I'd probably been killed by now. So.
Oh my God, DC's a shithole. You know, it's sad. It's our nation's capital. You think that place would be put on a pedestal, really well kept and clean? I went to Washington, D.C. 3 years ago. You know, we actually went to Baltimore. We're like, oh, well, we're close to Washington. Let's go down there and visit. Yeah, you have your, you know, where the monuments are and the Lincoln Memorial. It's nice and pretty there, you know, but everything outside that, shithole. Ghettos, condos, projects. It's disgusting. And this is our nation's capital, right? You know, this is supposed to be, you know, people.
You know what the cost of living is there?
Oh, ridiculous.
If you make $80,000, it's like making minimum wage here.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, it's a shithole. You know, and just think, you know, this is where leaders of other countries come to visit, right? To talk to our leaders, our people in charge, right? And can you imagine them getting out the airport, right? And they're driving, you know, Secret Services are driving them to the White House and just looking around them like, what the hell? I mean, because have you been to, like, you know, like for example, my family's from Norway and Italy. You know, the capital of Norway is Oslo. The capital of Italy is Rome. You know, they're beautiful. They're well kept. They're clean cities, right? And you come to Washington, D.C., yeah, the only nice spot is where the monuments are. But even then you have your hoodlums and scumbags. But the whole perimeter of Washington, D.C., and it connects pretty much to Baltimore, Maryland, it's all a shit show. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's sad. It really is.
That's like Constitutional Stacker. We talked about that. And I said, would you stay or go? He says he would stay, but I believe he's on the second floor or third floor. And where he lives, I'm going, man, that would be hard to defend. Very hard.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And honestly, like, I mean, yeah. You know Savage Stacker? Yeah. You know, he lives in like an apartment, and I think he's like on the second floor too. And
he's in California.
California, in an apartment. And I just, you know, listen, as long as you have a home over your head, that's all that matters, right? You got a roof to stay, good for you. And if that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford, or whatever. You know, with anybody, nothing against apartments or anything, but I would be so scared if I shared you know, a building with somebody, you know, or multiple people. I'd be so scared to rent from a mother daughter house, you know, a 4-bedroom house. You know what I mean? You know, you go into towns, there's pretty much, you know, a house with 4 different sections, right? You know, I just, or even owning a house in a city and on top of people with no yard, right? Like, I want my privacy, and I feel like with that you cannot get privacy, and I'd always be worried. You know, if I had it my way, I like where I am now, but if I can be more excluded from everybody and be up in like the woods with like no houses for miles and miles away, hell yeah. You know, like up on a mountain somewhere, right on a lake, or like on an island in the middle of the ocean with the only house there, you know? That's just me, though. Still there?
Yep.
I thought I lost you there for a minute. But all right, Nico, man, it was good talking to you. It was a good stream. It's getting late. We've been on 3 hours already. 3 hours.
Yep.
And I'm going to hit the hay, get ready for bed, and be up tomorrow for work. And again, man, it was a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, nice. I got to know you a lot better and stuff. I mean, I listen and I've seen you on other podcasts, but you know, it's usually 4 or 5 people, so you don't really get to know anybody as well until you're one-on-one. So
yeah,
it's been pretty nice.
Thanks, and I appreciate it, man. And I've seen you, you know, my videos lately, and you know, on Monday Night Raw and everything, and it seems like you're, you know, becoming a really big part of the community, and I appreciate you coming on. Next Tuesday, man, if you want to come on, you know, we'll send the link in. You can pop right back on.
Okay.
All right, Nickel.
I'll see you.
Man. Thank
Good
you,
night.
everybody, for watching. You know, thanks, Craig, West Texas Stacker, John Morgan. Thanks, guys, and Silver Heist, all you great guys, JK. You all have a good night, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.